the Mike Missanelli show, and the Diamondbacks are in town for the Phillies last night. So before we can go ahead, we have to go back. The Phillies win 2 or 3 from the Nationals. All right. I don't really have a problem with that. You know what? It seems like it's amazing to me in this town when the Phillies lose a game, one game. Now, you could look at their team and you could project it out for the long haul. But when they lose one game, the death knell is sounded. It's like a columnist comes out today and says, Phillies ain't getting it done. And they lost the third game of a 3-game series with the Nationals, and you would expect they're going to lose one in a 3-game series. No harm, no foul. But why do people look at every game as, well, now they're done? I understand where their weaknesses are, but they're still kind of right there in a playoff spot. And it could go either or when we get to the end of the season. And I actually think they're going to improve themselves in the bullpen, and that solidifies maybe leaking into the playoffs. But what is it about the Phillies and the reaction that we have when one loss will take us over the top? Bill Colarulo's here. Ray Dunn is here. I want to get both of your opinions on this. There's one loss. They're not going to get it done. Bill, explain this to me.
Yeah, we've talked about this a lot over the last couple of years when it comes to the Phillies, is why do we react like that after one game? But it's the football mentality. Like, we talk a lot. Philadelphia is more of a football town than anything. And every single week you live and die with your football team, and we bring that same mentality, I think, to baseball, that one game, we're going to the World Series, then they lose a game, and it's this team is the same old team. But I think what has magnified that with this particular Phillies team is because it is pretty much the same team that came up short last year, that lost to these Diamondbacks 2 years ago in the NLCS, even though they were up 3-2. So I think that's why everything's getting magnified, that, yeah, it's one of 162, but when we see some of the same issues over and over and over again with this lineup, it's the reason that people maybe overreact, if that's what we want to call it. But I don't know. I've been trying to be positive about this Phillies team because I look at them at 17-14, and even though the bullpen has major issues, and even though they still lack a center fielder, a left fielder, you look at them being 17-14, and the fact that Bryce Harper really hasn't had a great season. I mean, he's hitting .235. Johan Rojas has a higher slug than Bryce Harper does this season. So, like, couldn't you also look at it the other way around where, and let's compare it to last Eagle season, right? Eagles are 2-2 at the bye. People were overreacting. But if you looked at it and said, wait a second, they're 2-2 even though they've had injuries, even though they got a new offensive coordinator, even though they got a new defensive coordinator, maybe we need to give them some time. And you look at this Phillies team, they're 17-14 even though Ranger was hurt, Bryce Harper hasn't been great, Alec Boehm struggled to start the season, JT Realmuto hasn't really been hitting the ball that well. So could we look at this and say there is room for improvement with this baseball team?
No. No, they need an infusion, right? Like, I can sit here and say, yeah, they're going to be iffy to get in the playoffs. I think they're right there. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if they got in, or it wouldn't surprise me if they got nosed out at this point in their current form. I think they are what they are, except they need to add. And that's where Dave Dombrowski comes in. And I believe, and I'm going to tell you flat out what I believe the move should be made. Because Ranger Suarez is coming back. Ranger Suarez is coming back. I'll give him 2 starts. I trade him for 2 relief pitchers.
You trade him right away. See, here's the problem, though. And you cite to that article where the one journalist is talking about how this team's kind of just stagnant. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of teams right now in Major League Baseball that are hovering around the 500 mark. There's a lot of teams now, because of that extra wild card over the last couple of years, who are going to be reluctant to sell because they still have a shot to make the postseason. So would you be able to? Now, Ranger, obviously, everyone needs starting pitching, so maybe. But if a team is going to make a trade for Ranger, who's in the final year of his deal, that team probably thinks they got a shot. So why would they give up 2 solid relievers when they think they have a shot?
Because they have an abundance of relievers. You go for a team that has an abundance of relievers. That's how you could get 2 relief pitchers. You get guys that may be on the bottom of some teams with a strong bullpen, and you know they got stuff, and you bring them in and they go to the top of the Phillies. That you can't wait until the trade deadline to do this. The trade deadline is too late. You've got to hang in there with listen, here's the biggest conclusion we can draw right now. The Phillies bullpen is not good enough to win anything.
Correct.
Am I right?
I think everybody
so
agrees with that.
that's the known. All right. So if that's the known, you got one mission. You don't even have a mission for left field as much as you have a mission for the bullpen. You got one mission. That's what your general manager has to do. And he has to do it sooner than later because you want to hang in there.
Yeah, this isn't something where you could just wait and say, we'll move Ranger to the bullpen.
Let's face it. Let's go. Let's fast forward this year. Can you see the Phillies with this bullpen being a viable playoff contender? Even though they have good starting pitching, because that's what they're counting on. We don't have viable bullpen, but we got good starting pitching, and anybody who plays us is going to be trouble. However, you got the 6th, 7th, 8th, or the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings that you have to count for every night, no matter how good your starting pitching is, no matter how good it is.
So here's the issue. If this team, as constructed, wins enough games to make the postseason, well, now you got some flexibility because you could move Ranger to the pen. If Andrew Painter comes up and proves that he can pitch, you move him to the pen. I'm with you, though. I think the move needs to be made sooner rather than later because there's no guarantee of a postseason.
No, but then, see, you have to cement roles. Like, you just can't throw a guy into the role. You would need to have those guys available pitching in relief before you got to the point where you can now save a starter. Because you can't rely on the situations are completely different for guys when they're now thrown into pen. Baseball is not one of those things where you can just interchange a guy.
I get it, and I get what you're saying, and I would love to see Dombrowski do something, and if it meant giving up Ranger, I would love it. I'm just wondering, though, when you say you go to a team that has an abundance of relievers.
I got to look at it.
But
I got to look at each team's pen. That'll be my assignment for the weekend.
Good, because I'm wondering, like, who's going to have enough relievers that if they give up 2 of them to you and they're the bottom of their bullpen, like we need high leverage guys, don't we?
No, not the bottom of the bullpen. Good guys that just happen to be down on the pecking order. And I'm talking about teams that go, what do teams want mostly? They want starting pitching to get through a playoffs, right? A team that's bereft of a starting pitcher is going to give you relief pitchers because they have to get the number 3 spot in the playoffs. They have to have a 3 and 4 spot. So if they don't have 3 and 4, that's a piece of gold for them, more than a bullpen piece would be.
So you trade Ranger, Walker remains in the rotation, or comes back to the rotation, I would guess, because we think Walker's now moving to the pen. So you're going to let Ranger start a couple games, hopefully prove he's healthy, and then start calling some teams.
Yes.
I could get on board with that.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I'm on board with that. It's just Nebraska's got to make the right move.
Let's be fair. Like, are they really going to miss Ranger Suarez that much now that Lozano's here?
Luzardo. You compared you combined him and Romano.
Lasagna's here.
Luzardo. No, but let's knock on wood that everybody stays healthy. I mean that's what it is, and over a long season,
if everybody doesn't stay healthy, then this is a moot point that we're talking about here.
Over the course of a 162 game season, most teams use 7 or 8 starting pitchers at some point. So if you're going to move on from Ranger now, you got to hope Luzardo stays healthy, Sanchez stays healthy. You got to hope that Taijuan Walker can continue what he's been doing.
But here's what I'm also doing. I'm getting rid of Ranger 1 year too soon rather than too late.
Yeah, well, he's a free agent anyway.
I see him as a breakdown candidate. And this is where you're going to max the value.
Well, that's my concern, too. You see him as a breakdown candidate. Are there other GMs around baseball that do as well?
If he has 2 good starts and you're desperate for starting pitching.
So we need him to have a great outing.
You take that chance. It's because it's a no-brainer.
And he's a proven postseason performer.
That's right. All right. We're also going to go over certain situations. Bill had a problem with something Topper did not do last night. And then we're going to look at the smartest player in baseball and what he did in the 9th inning.
Sarcasm.
Johan Rojas is Paul Reed. Guys don't have any idea how to play the game. 610-632-0975 is how you climb into the show. It's the Mike Missanelli Show. It's 97.5 The Fanatic.
Philadelphia.
Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5, The Fanatic. So Ray Dunn, I saw he had a sour face on when I started talking about the Ranger Suarez and trading him for two relief pitchers. Ray, you were sour. So explain why.
Yeah, I'm sour on this one because you're saying everyone around baseball needs starting pitching, yet you have starting pitching. Why are you giving that up so soon?
Because you don't need it.
You might.
You got enough starting pitching.
Didn't we see last August and September what happens when you don't have enough starting pitching in your organization?
They got four solid starter pitchers and one coming on the way.
And you're talking about
without
trading
Ranger Suarez.
You're talking about trading in May. We got a marathon.
You got four solid starting pitchers without Ranger. That's what I'm
Without
saying.
Ranger.
Yeah.
You got Jesus Luzardo, who's gone over 100 innings how many times in his career? Like twice?
Right. Sometimes you got to take a chance when you're bereft in another situation. You don't have a choice. You got to bite a bullet. The biggest problem on their team right now is what?
The bullpen.
All right. Well, I'm addressing
contributing.
it. That's what I'm addressing. The problem isn't their starting pitching. The problem is their bullpen.
Yeah, but what you're doing right now is trying to plug a hole, and you might open up another one.
Where? Where are you opening up another one? You got a life raft and painter coming up. Where are you opening up another one?
Weren't you the same person that told us a month ago we can't just rely on this painter guy coming up and being a star?
But I got four starters anyway. Okay, it's not perfect. But if the number one problem is you don't have a bullpen, what are you going to do? With your thumbs in your nose?
I'm not making a move in May that's going to jeopardize. That could jeopardize my rotation in August.
I am making a move. I'm making a move right now because I got to get that bullpen solidified. It is a mess right now, and you got to get guys in certain roles. So you got to get two good arms, and you got to put them in a bullpen scenario because as good as your starting pitching is, you're still going to need occasionally 6, 7, 8, 9.
And how many teams in May are giving you two quality bullpen arms?
I don't know. A team that's desperate for starting pitching. I know. They got a good pen. They don't have starting pitching. In that city, they go, what's the number one problem? Starting pitching. We got to get a starter. All right. Well, then you sacrifice a couple bullpen guys for that.
Yeah, but if you sacrifice two bullpen arms worth having to go get the starting pitcher, then okay, congrats. You just plugged up the hole of having one starter, but now you've lost two arms. If they're quality arms, you're not giving up two quality bullpen arms.
Why not? If you have a deep bullpen, you can give up one really quality arm and another who has a potential to be a quality arm. That's what a general manager has to be doing.
You think there's a bullpen that goes 6 deep right now in May that's going to give you that?
Am I Dave Dombrowski?
No.
If I was Dave Dombrowski, I would know. Now, I'm going to do a homework assignment during the weekend.
Okay.
Ray's a little persnickety this morning.
Well, I'm just we're jettisoning Ranger Suarez right now, pretending like he's not worth anything to this team.
He's in the scope of things, he's an asset. He's an asset to improve your worst situation, which is your bullpen. Sometimes you don't have a choice. You got I hate to lose Ranger Suarez, but where am I bereft? I can't win with this bullpen. I can't. That's the one thing I know. Can I win without Ranger Suarez? Maybe I can.
Now, Ray, would you be willing to give up Ranger closer to the deadline, or you're saying absolutely not? He would be off limits.
I mean, I have to first see him pitch before we even get there, but I'm not giving him up anywhere close to before
Ranger
July.
Suarez.
Well, I think if you're getting two bullpen arms in May, you're not getting bullpen arms that are going to save your season.
You don't know that.
Yeah, but you also don't know that you're going to stay healthy the rest of the season. So if we're playing with the you don't know, you also don't know this.
Look at the Houston Astros a couple years ago. How many did they have? They had like 5 guys.
Correct.
Yeah. So you got to look around and see who's 5 guys deep like that. There are teams. Look at every bullpen that I've seen so far play the Phillies has a better bullpen.
But if they go 5 deep right now in May, they're going to give you 2 bullpen arms, which would make, okay, maybe they go 4 deep because they're not giving you 2 of their top 5 guys. You think they're going to voluntarily give up their bullpen depth in May when you still have the whole marathon ahead of you?
One top guy and another guy who has the potential. That's what I'm getting.
Okay. I'm not jettisoning Ranger Suarez for that right now.
Loves himself some Ranger.
I'll tell you, I just like
Sirianni.
I just like sitting here watching it. I've never seen you two go at it.
We got a new Ray here.
I think he does.
The Sirianni love is now the Ranger love.
Ray has a point, but I can't believe that I'm saying this. The reason that I would be willing to give up Ranger, I actually am trusting Taijuan Walker now. Not to be Ranger Suarez, to be your 5th guy. Like if you have Wheeler, Nola, Sanchez, and Luzardo as your top 4 guys, you still probably have the best rotation in baseball, even if Walker's your fifth starter. And then, like, to Mike's point about if Andrew Painter's coming up in June or July, see, I think, Ray, where I think now would be too soon. I agree with you there. Like, you're not probably going to be able to flip him for anything of real value after 2 starts. But I'm definitely willing to flip him, even if he's pitching well.
3 starts then.
Because you got to do something, right? Like, when you talk
starts.
about, they are right now, they've improved a little bit. The Phillies are no longer the 29th ranked bullpen. They're the 26th. You're not winning anything with that bullpen, even if Ranger Suarez comes back and is the Ranger Suarez you saw 2 years ago.
Okay. I understand what you're saying about this bullpen right now. You were the same guy that yesterday told us, hey, remember last year when they had a 5 ERA in April and then had a 2 ERA in May?
True.
Like, it's early in this season. Do I love what I've seen from Romano? No. Do I love what I've seen from Joe Ross? No. Am I thrilled that Jose Ruiz is on my baseball team? No. I'm not sitting here telling you don't have problems with your bullpen. I think going out and addressing them right now.
Forgot Hernandez. So go ahead.
Hey, Hernandez, 3 straight scoreless outings. Get ready. The Carlos Hernandez.
Hitting 100 miles an hour, too.
All right,
Yeah,
so
he still
I just
doesn't know how
did
to
a little
pitch.
research. Best bullpens, the Dodgers. When the Dodgers do it, they have sometimes have a problem with their starting rotation with injuries. The Twins. The Twins are considered to have a strong bullpen, with some projecting them as the top bullpen in baseball. They're not going to win dick. All right? You had to believe that? So you zero in on the Twins. The Guardians' bullpen has been lauded for their performance. The Rays have consistently ranked them in the top bullpen. The Pirates are also included. Go after those teams. That's where you go after.
Okay, so wait, let's run down those teams. Dodgers, I don't think they're touching it because they've spent so much money on that starting rotation. I don't understand why they would give up anything they have in the
starting
bullpen.
rotation is hurt, like Glass now, or somebody gets hurt, like what's the other guy's name? Snell.
So if
They
you pick
get
up the
hurt.
phone, call LA. LA is like, we got hurt starters. What do you got for me? I got a starter that's made 2 starts coming off of a back injury.
I know enough about Ranger Suarez. Yeah, we'll take Ranger. I know enough about him. I don't need to see another star from him.
You think that? Okay. I mean, I think that's real
I'm
blind
giving you the
trust.
answer. You gave me the question. I gave you the answer.
Oh, I'm saying from
Okay.
LA's side, I pick up the phone.
All right.
You got a starter
Well,
that's.
then go to Minnesota and go to Cleveland and go to Tampa.
Oh, Cleveland
and go
turns
to
out
Pirates.
starting pitching like there's nobody's problem. Cleveland, I don't think they would take the phone from me.
Take some out of their hide in the bullpen. Take it out of the Rays' hide. Take it out of the Pirates' hide. These are the top bullpens in baseball.
Let me ask Ray one more. And I don't think they're not even Oakland anymore. What are they now? The Athletics. If they were willing to give you Mason Miller, would you put
They're
something
not giving
together?
you Mason Miller for Ranger Suarez.
No, you're going to have to probably put something else in there. Would you try to do something to get him?
Well, yeah, everyone's been trying to get Mason Miller from him.
So you'd be willing to do it for some people.
For Mason Miller?
They tried to get him last year.
Yeah, we were all talking about Mason
Try
Miller
to get him
last year.
again, and then he's eventually.
Listen, I'm a problem solver. I'm Winston Wolfe. I solve problems. They got a problem with the bullpen. I got a surplus in my starting rotation. That
Yep.
blends for me, brother. That blends.
Yeah, but the A's are actually above 500 right now, which is
Oh, they're going to win something.
yeah.
They wouldn't trade you. 610-632-0975. We'll handicap what happened in this game. Bill's got a beef with Topper. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Phillies fall in the series finale. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies lost 4-2 to the Nationals on Thursday night. Defensive miscues and a lack of timely hitting sunk them once more. The Nationals' Brad Lord limited the Phillies to 2 runs in 5+ innings, striking out 4. Taijuan Walker allowed just 1 earned in 5 2/3 innings, lowering his ERA to 2.54. He talked postgame about what's working for him.
I thought I did a pretty good job of that, getting quicker outs. Obviously that 6th inning kind of just got away from me a little bit, but before that, I felt like I was in a pretty good groove, getting quick outs, quick innings. It's kind of back and forth between me and their pitcher. And
Phillies now turn their attention to the Diamondbacks for a 3-game series this weekend. Jesus Luzardo takes the mound against Merrill Kelly with first pitch at 6:45. Coming up at noon, we'll talk to 2008 World Series champion Jason Worth about this Phillies team and his horse-flying Mohawk competing in the Kentucky Derby. Also today, Philadelphia Eagles rookies will meet with the media as rookie minicamp is getting started. Elsewhere in sports, last night, Tobias Harris and the Pistons falling to the Knicks in Game 6, 116-113. The Pistons are eliminated. This update's brought to you by Rocket. If you feel like owning a home has been out of reach, Rocket is here to change that. Own the dream. Visit Rocket.com or call 800-4-ROCKET. Again, that's Rocket.com or call 800-4-ROCKET. I'm Ray Dunn on your home for Truist Championship coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Show with Mike Missanelli, Bill Colarulo, and an overly heated Ray Dunn today.
Rough night, I think, at the ballpark.
Ray Dunn,
for
little
Ray.
overly heated.
Look, he's not even smiling.
You know,
as
that's
we're
what I
talking
think
about.
happened. I think he was out with his buddies last night. His buddies say, man, you got to go back at that Missanelli, Ray. And so he came right back. Was that happen? Is that
No.
what the truth? No,
No.
That didn't happen?
No.
Look, Ray don't even want to
Ray,
joke.
He pushed you down too much, Ray. You got to come on fighting.
I don't think you pushed me down
No, I don't.
at all.
Uh-oh,
really?
Don't poke the bear, Ray.
I don't.
Actually, this is nice. I can sit aside, let you two go at it today.
No, there's going to be
Nice, easy
something.
Friday.
It's 10:30, buddy. You got a lot of time to say something.
Ray's a
that'll
little
annoy
hot
me.
bothered. He's got what they call the red ass, Bill.
Yeah, he's angry today. He's not even like smiling.
No, he's not. No. All right, so let's go over what happened last night because I want to get to your topper criticism.
Oh yeah, now you
Okay,
and I will battle.
let's go over. They had some squandered opportunities last night. Obviously, they lost to an inferior team. It happens. They lost 1 of 3. So TW, as I call him,
Who's that?
Tiger Woods, but it's also Taiwan Walker. 10 straight for T-Dub, but Abrams with a double leads off the 6. Good player, that kid. They get Wood on a comebacker, and then 2 singles, a Harper error. Nats go up 3-1. Kirkering in first and third. Faked double steal that Marchand messes up. They would have got at least 1 out of that play.
Yeah, it was ugly.
Throws it wild. Cruz wanted to get in a rundown. Ball skips into center field. Run scores. Cruz is safe at second base. It's 4-1 now, Bill. So where is the situation now? Is it the 7th inning?
6th.
It's the 6th inning.
So bottom of the 6th.
Bottom of the 6th inning. Describe what was going on in the bottom of the 6th.
So bottom of the 6th, you have a runner on first and third with only 1 out. It's a 4-2 game now.
Mm-hmm.
The Nationals have the left-hander on the mound who's got that tough delivery.
Ferrer. Is it Ferrer?
Ferrer, yeah.
Yeah.
Tough left-hander on the mound.
Throws hard.
Max Kepler's coming up to the plate. Okay? Now, Rob Thompson has already showed us this year that he doesn't want to trust Max Kepler against left-handed pitching. When there's a left-handed starter on the mound, he don't start Max Kepler. He starts Weston Wilson now. Kepler's hitting 182 against lefties. He only has 4 hits against left-handed pitching. It's a 4-2 game, first and third, 1 out. They let Kepler hit. And he strikes out.
You would have pinch hitted Kepler for yo boy,
Weston Wilson.
Weston Wilson in that situation.
And here's the reason why. If Rob Thompson had said, I'm going to trust Max Kepler, when I say that, I mean showed us through what he's done over the last couple of weeks that he's going to trust Max Kepler against left-handed pitching, then keep him in. The guy's hot. But you just sat him down 2 days ago when there was a lefty on the mound. And then guess what? It was around the 6th inning when they go to the pen and you pinch hit Kepler in place of Wilson because there was a righty on the mound. Like, you've done this exact thing before.
He's telling you that he has more confidence in Kepler than as Weston Wilson. He's not going to pinch hit a lesser player for a guy that he values more.
But I would agree with you, and I would agree with that line of thinking if Thompson has shown us that that's what he does. He doesn't trust Kepler against left-handed pitching more than Wilson because he does that by sitting him down every time there's a left-handed pitcher on the
down
mound.
every time? Does he? I don't know if he sits him down every time. I think he allows Kepler to face the occasional lefty.
Kepler this season has only faced left-handed pitching. I think he's got like
How many at-bats?
14, I think is what it is. He's got 4 hits.
Okay, he's got 4 hits and 14 at-bats.
Oh, let me see. No, he's hitting 182.
Against left-handers?
Against lefties. 182 he's hitting. Hold on, I'll get you right now how many at-bats he's got. So to me, it's like you're in a 4-2 game. You got runners on the corners. There's only 1 out.
You know, I might even agree with you there.
23 at-bats.
I might even agree with you. I'm looking at Thompson saying, Kepler's my more valued player. I'm not going to pinch hit for him for a lesser valued player.
And by the way, I said he was hitting 182. Now, after last night, he's only hitting 174 against lefties.
Okay. All right.
So I think why not pinch hit
Marginal
there?
agreement.
Not and I even put this out on Twitter. I said, look, this isn't the main reason they lost. But in that situation, I'm just curious what Rob Thompson's thinking is because he's shown us I'm willing to pinch hit based off a matchup. And then I went deeper because I'm like, all right, well, maybe Max Kepler's had a lot of success against this lefty.
Yeah.
He's only faced him once. He did hit a double off of him in the first series.
Uh-huh. Okay, so the Phillies chip away. They get 1 in the 7th on an infield hit by Castellanos. 8th inning. First and second, Turner and Harper. Here comes Casty. Grounds into a DP. No good. So now we go to the ninth inning. Rojas stretches a double into a triple. And I'm thinking to myself, no. They get a play on him. By the grace of God, he's safe. And I'm going, this guy has no capacity to think the game. None. There is absolutely zero value in going to third base. You're down 2. You're already in scoring position. If you get thrown out at third base, the game is over, and you're an idiot.
Yeah, 2 outs. The worst part is you're right, because Rojas then jumps up, celebrates, looking at the dugout.
This is why I don't like this guy. He's unaware.
And the dugout looks at him like, no,
exactly.
dude.
He's unaware. He makes a great catch. He watches it on his iPad for 30 minutes. He goes to third base thinking it's a big deal, and it's not a big deal because there's not a brain in his head.
That was a terrible baseball play right there.
And it's the same way he hits.
Listen, your hatred for Rojas is starting to rub off on me because last night that was annoying to me as well, and I think everybody else in the Delaware Valley. Like I saw some people saying this is going to be the first guy to hit a triple and get sat down.
All right. So he is safe at third. Challenge, he was safe. Marchand is the last hitter. Are you pinch hitting for Marchand in that situation, Billy? See, this is where Topper has these hard and fast rules. JT is off. He's off. I'm not going to take the chance that send him up, and now he's got to catch a couple extra innings.
You normally, if it was any other player, I would say pinch hit. But I do understand when you want to give your catcher a day off.
I can't believe it.
Yeah.
You're the one who was all fired up when he didn't play. He didn't
Bryce
pitch
Harper.
Yes.
Different scenario. When you want to give your catcher the day off, and it's a 4-2 game, play it out. Yeah, what if JT, even if he goes yard, great, it's a 4-4. He has to be in the game now behind the plate. I understand wanting to give your catcher, who has a history now of last year having the knee injury, you give him the full day off. I'm okay with that.
He has to catch like 2 innings.
All right.
It's not like the game can go 18 innings anymore.
I'm still okay with it being the catcher.
Okay.
Like, that's why I would have been.
All right.
I don't love it, but I do agree that it depends on the position. What I was angry about last year was Bryce Harper. There's no reason Bryce Harper can't pitch hit and play first.
Well, he's your golden ticket. That's why he can't play. You want to preserve him as much as you want to preserve JT as a catcher. 610-632-0975. Our leadoff hitter, Greg from Bethlehem, is on deck. And we're going to tell you about the big guest that we have at 12 o'clock. A man heavily involved in this year's Kentucky Derby. Yes, your former right fielder will be on this program. After this,
we want to hear from you. So text us at 610-
I have not.
Well, let me tell you something. You should put it on your bucket list. Now, I've been a lot of places. Number one experience.
Really?
Is the Kentucky
Wow.
Derby.
Better than the Masters.
Better than the Masters.
Better than the Super Bowl.
Better than the Super Bowl.
Better than a Flyers game.
Better than a Flyers game.
Should we hit the horn?
To me, it's the number one destination for a sports fan.
Now, you got all decked out, I'm assuming.
You get all decked out. You start drinking mint juleps at noon. By the time the race comes on at like 6:30, you're banged around. You throw money like it's going crazy on your bets. It's fabulous.
Did you have a date with you? A lady friend?
Yes.
Was she rocking that?
I've been there 3 times.
Was she rocking the hat? Because the
Yeah,
ladies
they all
always
rock,
wear
They all rock the hats.
the cool hats.
Yeah, and the atmosphere is just fantastic. The roar of the crowd. There's hand rolled. So the Cubans rolling hand rolled cigars over here. You got the food over here. You got the paddock area where they bring them out. They magnificent horses. Oh man,
Beautiful animal, the horse.
it's beautiful.
My friend that got me this Master shirt, the last 2 years, he has started his April working the Masters, doing stuff for them leading up, and then he comes home for a little bit, leaves, and then does 2 weeks over at the Derby.
Right.
It's like the greatest stretch of anyone I know.
That's pretty nice.
I'm
Yeah.
sure he speaks highly of being at the Derby, right?
Yeah. Oh my God, he loves it.
You see celebrities walking around, all dolled up.
Oh, yeah, yesterday
Place to be, right?
he was right next to our guest at noon yesterday.
Yeah, Jason Worth is coming on at 12 o'clock. So we'll talk to Jason, who's now involved in that whole horse scene.
Yeah, he's got the Flying Mohawk competing this year.
Yeah, 30 to 1.
And then
Got no chance.
the favorite is Pio Mai, I'm being told.
No, Piomai unfortunately burned
Yes.
in a barn fire. Brace Club, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Happened in that studio during that break.
Ralphie
It's Sopranos.
Ralphie lost his life because of what he did to Pio Mai.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, remember Tony was nursing Piomai. Okay, girl.
Yeah.
All right, girl.
He loved Pio Mai.
He did love Piomai.
And Ralphie, she's just a horse. Or whatever he said to him.
Yeah, but in any event, it's a spectacular experience.
Hold on, I know we digress. One of my favorite things, though, that came out of the Pio Mai was when Tony then throws away the picture of him and Pio Mai.
Yeah,
But then Paulie takes it,
Paulie gets it,
makes it look like him
retouched. Yeah,
with the Napoleon hat.
that's no jockey. That's a general.
Oh, Ray has no idea.
Soprano talk. I'll right over his head. But I think I told the story before. I won $5,000 at Kentucky Derby once.
Oh, did you pick the winner?
By picking the wrong horse.
Oh, I think you did tell this story.
I do remember the story now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I picked the horse that was in an entry, and that horse won. And I thought I had the other horse, and I threw it down my ticket. The guy goes, "Well, dude, you won." I go, "Huh?" And I was like, "Dude, when I tell you, I had about 7 mint juleps
I can imagine.
in the hot sun." And so by the time that race came, I'm like, I throw the ticket down. The guy goes, "Dude, you won." I go, "Huh?" He pick up your ticket. I go, my ticket. He goes, "It's an entry. You go collect your money." I thought, okay, cool. And I go, I didn't even know how much I won.
That guy shouldn't have told you. He should have picked it up himself.
I give them the ticket. They go, okay, and they're peeling off hundreds. I'm going, holy mackerel! Look at this. And then
pretty good.
all of a sudden, I get the money. I look over my right shoulder. Here comes the tax man.
Oh, because if it's 5 or more.
Oh, the tax man. You touch me on the shoulder, you buddy. We got to fill out some forms here. I didn't pay any taxes. It was crazy.
Yeah, what does it have to be for them to do that?
I don't know.
I think it's about 5.
I was too banged out to
You
notice
take whatever you want.
what was going on.
Come on, Kryptonite!
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, Krypton. Eddie Mush.
He bet the horse. You've been mushed.
They ripped the ticket before the race is over.
Come on, Kryptonite!
All right, in any event, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's get the walk-up song. Yes, sir.
I called a bartender. So look, man.
Look, man.
Come down here.
Down here.
Down there. So what you want?
One bourbon, one shot, and one beer. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, our leadoff hitter today, Greg from Bethlehem. What's up, Greg?
Gentlemen, you too, Jersey Shore boy.
Oh, turn to me?
Yeah.
GTL, Greg.
I thought that's
GTL.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mint juleps will definitely catch up to you.
Oh, you don't know they will until the end. Yeah, you just get going.
Yeah.
It tastes pretty good. You chew the mint leaf, the whole bit. All of a sudden, it's 5 o'clock, and you go, hey.
Yeah, you're looking for a place to sit down.
Yeah. The hot sun, too. It's baking you all day. The hot sun's baking you. And you know, it's funny. You're collecting glasses, right? Because they're souvenir glasses. You get a souvenir glass with every mint julep, and you're collecting them like some idiot. You can't carry them out. What are you going to carry them out in? A sack? You know? Anyway, go ahead. Yeah.
Bryce Harper, I think that he's probably the most disappointing component of the team so far for me. All a pitcher has to do is throw 3 or 4 outside breaking sliders, and he's going back to the dugout.
No, you're absolutely right. He's having trouble with that slider that Ryan Howard used to have trouble with.
Can you tell him, look, take a pitch or two? I mean,
No,
it doesn't seem like he's.
Listen, you can
he's
discuss that
pressing.
if you're the hitting coach. You can be more patient, but you can't tell him to take a pitch or two.
Yeah, I mean, he seems like he's pressing. He wants to make something happen. Do you think he's not recognizing?
He's having his timing's a little off. He's having trouble seeing it, tracking it. He'll be fine. A great hitter usually comes back where he knows what's going on. What's his average right now? What is it?
Yeah,
He's hitting 235.
235?
But in his last 7, he's only hitting 179.
That's no good. He's in a slump.
Yeah,
You're right. He's not seeing the breaking ball. So that's sort of, if I'm Kevin Long, I go right shoulder. Stay in there. Stay in there. He's flying out.
Right.
That's why he's missing that pitch.
Yeah, he does spin out, and he can miss some of those pitches by 6 inches.
There you go.
Or more.
See, that's what a hitting coach does. He can't hit for him. Bryce, right shoulder.
Yeah, well, hopefully they can get through to him, or he can break out of it, because they need him to perform.
Oh, of course they do. Yes, they do.
I mean,
that's quite a statement by you, Greg.
Well,
You're very bold.
Yeah, I guess.
Very bold statement, Greg. Yeah, yeah. You should go to the coffee shop there in Bethlehem and go, they need Bryce Harper. See what kind of reaction you get.
You're very bold.
All right, Greg, nice talking to you, buddy. There he is. It's the great Greg.
The Greg from Bethlehem. But no, it's not only that Bryce is struggling. He's just not. His slug is so low over the last 7 games. His slug is 250 over the last 7 games. That's wild.
He's a little open in his stance, which serves him well. I mean, he's a good open stance hitter. In this situation, maybe he's got that right foot a little closed.
But then,
and that keeps his right shoulder in.
We get on him for what he's been doing at the plate. Big error for him last night. He's got to make that.
It was a big error, but he's a Gold Glover.
It's hard to get on him.
That's what they say. He's a potential Gold
Glover.
Glover.
It's hard to get on him. He's been really good in the field. But you got to make that play last night. You're out of the inning. That's a double play ball.
Switch him to the outfield anyway. You want him in the outfield.
I wouldn't mind it.
610-632-0975. Back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Phillies fall the series finale. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. Phillies lost 4-2 to the Nationals on Thursday. As defensive miscues and a lack of timely hitting sunk them after they took the first 2 of a 3-game set with the Nationals. It was Brad Lord for Washington that limited the Phillies to 2 runs in 5+ innings, striking out 4. Taijuan Walker allowed just 1 earned in 5 2/3 innings, lowered his ERA to 2.54 on the season. But overall, there were 4 runs because of a 6th inning that fell apart mostly defensively what the Phillies did. Now the Phillies have to turn their attention to the Diamondbacks Diamondbacks, who come in for a 3-game set this weekend. Jesus Luzardo takes the mound tonight against Merrill Kelly for the Diamondbacks. First pitch at 6:45 down at Citizens Bank Park. Coming up at noon, we'll talk to 2008 World Series champion Jason Worth about this Phillies team and his horse Flying Mohawk competing this weekend in the Kentucky Derby. Also today in Philadelphia, Eagles rookies will meet with the media as rookie minicamp gets started. Elsewhere in sports, it was the Knicks moving on to the second round, knocking off Tobias Harris and the Pistons 116-113 last night. The Knicks win that series in 6, and the Clippers extend their series with the Nuggets to 7 games with a victory last night. This update's brought to you by the PGA Tour's Truist Championship. The Truist Championship is coming to the Philadelphia Cricket Club's Wissahickon course May 7th through 11th. Tickets are on sale now at truistchampionship.com. That's truistchampionship.com. I'm Ray Dunn on your home for all your Truist Championship coverage. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
It's difficult for me to say.
Yeah, because you're used to just talking so cool, like, got my business.
Exactly. All right, so speaking of the Phillies, the broadcast team, now this has nothing to do with the play-by-play. Because most of the conversations that are most entertaining in the broadcast booth with McCarthy and Kruk are just, kind of nonsense conversations.
They do talk a lot of nonsense.
Yeah,
but it's
so last
hilarious.
night there was a conversation, a discussion.
This was a couple games ago. I
A
think.
couple games ago?
Is this the one
okay.
about the wardrobe?
About pants and the umpire?
Yes, I believe this was 2
All right.
games ago.
Okay, this is about the umpires and their attire, and here's the way it sounded.
What do you think they're going to upgrade the umpires' attire?
You want to have them wear
Well-
a different color?
No, I don't mind the color. It's like their pants they're pleated. Like that went out like 30 years ago.
You know what that is? That's an excellent point. That pleats did go out.
Yeah.
They're going to come back again at some point.
Well, we won't be around for it.
No.
Well, you might.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, pleats are out.
Yeah, they're out.
Look, he's looking at it.
He is.
He's agreeing.
He said, you know what, John, you're right.
no.
These do look like crap.
At least
Yeah, so both of those guys have no clue.
Yeah, pleats
All
are
right?
coming back.
Because pleats are coming back. I'm assuming John Kruk, what he doesn't know about fashion could fill volumes.
However,
And I'm guessing Tom McCarthy's no Bo Brummel either, right?
maybe not. However, where I do agree with them, you're right. Pleats are coming back.
Yeah, just
But
ask,
why does it-
ask AI. See what AI says about it.
You want me to Google it?
Yeah.
I will in a second, but hold on.
Yeah.
But why in an athletic setting would the referees wear pleated pants?
They're coming back. Pleats are coming back.
Yeah, but
They'll be fashionable.
they could wear more
They-
comfortable pants. They're wearing pleated dress pants as an ump.
They're not dress pants. They're stretchy.
Oh, let me see what
They're
this says.
stretchy pant.
Are pleats in style?
I guarantee that there are two letters missing from Kruk and McCarthy's alphabet. You know what they are?
G and Q.
Oh, there you go.
All right.
They
AI.
went at them 30 years ago. They went out of style. By the time they come back, they're in now, fellas. Come on. Let's go. Pay attention.
AI has responded. Pleated pants are making a comeback in men's fashion, moving beyond their traditional association with older styles.
Uh-huh.
They're now being reimagined into slimmer silhouettes and more casual contexts, making them suitable for a wider range of occasions.
Oh, there you go. See, AI is never wrong.
I do prefer a flat front pant.
They are a part of a wider trend of classic menwear styles returning, with designers and celebrities embracing them. Fellas, come on now.
Now you bring up a whole other situation now as we're talking about baseball and styles.
Yeah.
I say it every time this comes up. Why does the baseball manager have to wear a damn uniform? It's the most ridiculous
No,
thing.
it's not. It looks good.
Come on, Mike.
Looks good.
Could you
Baseball uniform
imagine?
looks good.
Could you imagine Nick Nurse on the sidelines rocking a Sixers uniform?
Well,
We should.
Was it stupid when they were wearing suits? You think they should wear suits? NBA coaches?
No, I don't think they have to wear
They
suits.
used to wear suits until 2 years ago.
Also ridiculous. Do you remember, even more ridiculous, do you remember, this is probably going back maybe 10, 15 years when Nike, I think, started making a suit for football?
You're listening to 97.5? I've been pointing up there.
Your face.
Right, I've been pointing up there for like 15 seconds.
Mike's face.
He's
Trying to get the timing.
He's ready to get a story going. You're listening to WPEN and WPEN HD1 of Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studios, powering possibilities. All right, Bill, go on with your story.
I'm trying to remember. Do you remember a few years ago, maybe it was like a decade now, where I think it was Nike or Under Armour, one of these brands started making suits for the football coaches, and I think a couple of them wore it on the sidelines. Because back in the day, they used to wear suits too. Like, didn't Dicko used to rock a suit on the sidelines at times?
Yeah, he would. But
Then he had that sweater.
yeah, he was the only guy, really, though.
But listen,
Oh, no, Tom Landry would do it.
there is no reason for a baseball manager
No,
in today's baseball
a total reason
to wear a
You
uniform.
go on the field. You walk on the field. You change pitchers. You go
So
on
you
the
need a
field to
uniform
check
for
on-
that?
Yes, because it would look awkward otherwise.
Wait, does he have a
Yeah.
number too? Does Thompson have a number?
Yeah, of course he does.
Yeah, what is he?
Topper has a number.
You know, that's
What do you
ridiculous.
think? It would just have the jersey says Topper on the back? It says Thompson and it got a number.
It says Zzz for sleep. He wears number 59.
There you go.
There you go.
59.
You know what? We should get a Thompson. We should splurge. We should get a Thompson jersey. Who wants it?
Oh, Mike wants it. You know what, though, Mike? We need to get it signed by Rob Thompson. To my biggest fan, Mikey Miss.
I'd wear that on the air.
With love, keep
would.
on shining.
Let's place a
Robbie
few
T.
phone calls.
Robbie T. Yeah, I'm sure he'd sign it, Robbie T.
Only his close friends call him that.
Robbie T.
But that is the most ridiculous thing. Baseball managers, they could just wear normal stuff.
Yeah.
Look, he comes out onto the field. He wears the Phillies jacket over top of the jersey, which means your reasoning is pointless here.
Well, but he still has the pants on. He's got the spikes on.
So
he looks
stupid.
like a baseballer.
It's so
Baseball
stupid.
has tradition. You know, it's funny. You're a guy who advocates wearing the golf shirt tucked in and the proper golf shirt, the proper shorts.
Correct.
And now it's like what he should look like a schlub, like put street clothes on.
No, they should wear
warm-ups.
No, they could wear like athletic pants and wear something Phillies up top like he does. I just think the fact that you're in the uniform is just the dumbest
baseball
thing.
tradition, man. You go way back to Connie Mack, and he used to wear a suit. Connie Mack would wear a suit in the dugout. I don't know when it changed, when managers started to wear a baseball uniform.
The suits is a little much. And I agree with you with basketball, the suits would be much. But Ray's all in favor of basketball coaches wearing the uniform.
And I think we should have Sirianni with a helmet and full pads.
If any NFL coach of all 32 would rock a football uniform on the sidelines, it's Nick Sirianni.
That is true.
All right.
Hell yeah.
610-632-0975. You want to climb in on the phone or on the text board. We have any texts here, Ray, so far?
Yeah, Jim from Souderton. Bill got me thinking. I think I would prefer a team that had Harper in right field, Hoskins still at first, and Casty on another team. Do you prefer that or the current situation?
He doesn't like Casty.
Cassie's been one of your best hitters over the last year and a half.
Yeah.
But I get it. Look, realistically, if you could go back, Mike, would you have brought Rhys Hoskins back and let him play first?
1 year I would have.
So
But
you
not,
would've-
not now.
You would have kept Harper in the outfield then.
Yeah, 1 year. That would have been a 1 year thing. I think it would have given you a little more right-handed stock in the lineup.
Which was on full display last night because this is my point. Bottom of the sixth, first and third, 1 out, down 2. You let Max Kepler hit against a left-handed pitcher because you don't have a better option, I guess, coming off the bench. They don't trust Dub in that situation. You don't have a right-handed bat.
I got you. What else, Ray?
All right, Bill, the Kepler-Wilson point is simply revisionist history. If Kepler flares a single out to left and they get one run there, it's a 4-3 game. If they end up losing the game 4-3, are you still pondering about that move? Where are you only making the point that they lost, and it's something that you can point to? Shawnee boy.
No, here's my point with it. And when I put it out on Twitter last night, too, I said this isn't the reason they lost. It's a legitimate question. I'm just trying to understand Rob Thompson's mindset. Because if you don't trust Kepler against left-handed pitching normally, where there's a starter on the mound who's a lefty, he's not even in the lineup. Why in that moment are you saying, but we're going to trust him here? You're not giving him opportunities against lefties, but yet you do it in a really important position there. What I'm saying is stay consistent with it. Well, then let Kepler start against a left-hander. Let's give him more opportunities than only 20 at-bats. He only has 4 hits against lefties, and you needed it. It's a big moment in that baseball game.
Best explanation you could get comes from another texter here. Somebody explained to Bill that since Washington only had one left-hander in their bullpen when that spot came up again a couple innings later, there would be a right-hander on the mound.
Which did happen, and when Kepler came up again, there was a right-hander on the mound. But at that point, it's a different situation. You don't have runners in scoring position. You got 2 men on base, down 2. I just think you got to try to take advantage in that moment right there. And I would have loved nothing more than Dubs coming up and getting a big hit so I could rub it in Mike's face today.
Oh, they really trusted him, didn't they?
No, they didn't. Which, again...
Doesn't it speak to what the Phillies are? Like, that's the guy you have to trust. That's the only guy you got. That's it.
And that's why, again, this is on Dombrowski, because you don't have a right-handed bat you could trust. Now, the other option would have been you could have brought in Sosa, but you're going to let him play left. We saw that experiment once, and they haven't done it since.
Oh, I mean, you tell me he can't play left, Bill?
They haven't done it again. See, I thought they should have kept it going.
They must have got an impression that he can't do it. Bill's one of these guys. You just pluck a guy out there. Throw a guy out there. Maybe JT can play out there a couple innings.
I just opened up the YouTube chat. People are mad that I keep calling him Dubs.
Yeah, well, that's your thing with this guy.
Dub.
On the other side, the NBA playoffs last night. Oh, my God. I made a mistake. I said a 6'2 guard in this day and age couldn't carry you as a superstar. There's one that's out there. And he is one of the most amazing little players I've ever seen in my frickin' life. And we're going to have the game-winning shot by Villanova's own Jalen Brunson last night as the Knicks eliminate the Pistons. 610-632-0975. It's the Mike Missanelli Show. Back after this.
Andrew Salciunas.
I'm not moving to the outfield. If you're
Derby, although it's a long shot. Not like Dornock, it won the Belmont a couple years ago. He's back in. He's got a new look, too. Cut the hair.
Did he?
Yeah, well, it's still kind of long, but he cut it. It used to was his shoulder length. Remember, he had the big Beau Brummel hat on.
Yeah, he always looks like Edge, the former wrestler.
He does. Or he looks like a character in an Alexandre Dumas book.
I don't get it.
The Count of Monte Cristo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's a good book about revenge.
Yeah, he's got the garb going.
Maybe we could get Worth to talk to Marsh about maybe changing his look. A little
I
shave.
wonder how he feels about the Phillies, whether he's been following them. So I'm going to ask him about all that stuff. But last night in the NBA, boy, I tell you something. These NBA playoffs, the intensity that's being played with, there's always fights, all kinds of stuff, double technicals, this and that. Well, last night, the Pistons, on the verge of elimination. I'm watching the game. The Knicks are comfortably ahead here. The Pistons take the lead with 49 seconds left. They're up 113 to 111. Mikal Bridges comes flying in to make a tip rebound finish that ties the game at 113. And the clock goes down. Cade Cunningham misses a layup. Josh Hart gets the rebound. They call timeout. 5.1 seconds to go. Jalen Brunson shakes his defender, who's a great defender, by the way, Asor Thompson, shakes him, breaks his ankle, sends him flying away, has the guts to launch a three-point shot. Let's take you to the play-by-play of that final second.
Brunson takes a peek at the clock. Thompson digging in defensively. 8 seconds. Brunson stops on a dime. Launches. Oh, yeah! Jalen Brunson buries it. Knicks lead by 3. The Brunson burner ignited.
The balls it takes to shoot that shot is just phenomenal to me. That kid, first of all, it's funny because the fourth quarter comes around. He was voted the clutch player of the year because of his metrics in the fourth quarter. And so they go, Jalen Brunson only 2 in the fourth quarter, and all of a sudden he starts making shots. He hit a banker, he hit a driving and went underneath, and he somehow twisted his way. He got the basket, and then he makes that 3, and he winds up with 40 last night for the Knicks. And I'm thinking to myself, well, I was the idiot that said no 6'2 guard can lead a team. No 6'2 guard can be the focus of the team unless you're Allen Iverson. And I was referring to Maxey. But Brunson can. I mean, he is the phenomenal player. In fact, he's made the biggest game transition from good to great player that I have ever seen in all my years of watching basketball. I would have never figured he would be this kind of a dominant player at his size.
He's pretty good, man. But when you say a 6'2 guard carrying his team, I love Jalen Brunson. But the Knicks aren't getting out of the East. Like, they just beat the Pistons in a great series, but they're not winning a championship.
I'm not saying they're going to win a championship. I'm saying this dude carries that team.
He does.
That dude is the guy.
He does, and he's phenomenal.
He's got the ball in his hands all the time like Iverson. He makes every play.
Yeah, he drops 40. That was... You're right.
I mean,
It's
phenomenal.
He broke his
does.
ankles on that last play.
Yeah, and he's been banged up the whole time. Hey, Ray, I know. Listen, he's a Villanova guy, Ray.
Well, Ray gets upset because he was supposed to be a Temple guy.
I know he's supposed to be a Temple guy, but what's your impression when you watch that dude?
Last night was incredible. I found myself rooting for the Knicks last night.
You did?
Call violation, whatever you want from me. I wanted to see the Pistons. I really want to see Tobias go down. It was a Game 6 against the Knicks, and I saw him scoring points, and I was livid.
Yeah,
he scored 0 points in Game 6 last year. You're telling me he put points on the board last night for the Pistons?
What did he do last night?
He dropped 14.
Yeah, it was a minus 23, though. Let's not have that lost.
You didn't want to see a Game 7? This series has been so good. That's why I was rooting for the Pistons. I didn't care if they advanced, but I wanted to just... It's been an unbelievable series, right?
Yeah, it has. It was great. It was a very fun 6-game series. Tobias run after loose balls, the whole thing. I was livid. I wanted to see that man lose. So if down the stretch, call violation on me all you want. I wanted to see it. And Brunson, like what you saw from him last night, I know people get crazy. We got a text as soon as you start talking about Brunson. Oh, we're talking about the flopper. Like, any great player gets foul calls.
Let that stuff go, man. Seriously. He's a flopper.
He does.
Come on.
No, he does look for contact, though. He looks for the fouls.
He's a 6'2 guard. That's why that benefits him. 6'2 guard looking for contact. It's like it's strategic. The kid's smart as hell. He makes every play. He's so clutch. I'm just blown away. Now, the Pistons have a chance to tie this baby, right? They inbound the ball. They got 4.1 seconds to inbound the ball at half court. Malik Beasley comes in the game. Big three-point shooter. They got Tim Hardaway Jr., three-point shooter. Enters the game for Thompson. They get Beasley on the right wing open, and he fumbles the ball out of bounds.
I know.
That's a killer, man. And you lose the series, and you don't even get a final shot off.
No, and Cunningham makes the right play there.
Yeah, he
Getting
did.
the ball to him. He was wide open.
Yep. Anyway, Detroit Pistons. Ladies and gentlemen, think about this. The Detroit Pistons are in a better situation than your Philadelphia 76ers. The Detroit Pistons, the team that won 14 games last year, are currently ahead of you. How's that feel?
Tobias Harris over me?
Yeah, it does not feel good. And then as you're talking basketball, I saw an interesting report today from Windhorse to keep an eye on the San Antonio Spurs for Giannis. So the player that you were floating, would the Sixers maybe try to make a trade for Giannis? Could you imagine him pairing up with Wemby?
They'd be ready to make a move.
They really would. It's a frustrating situation, man. I remember when Tobias signed with Detroit this offseason. We were like laughing about it. They got a good young team.
Minus 23 in an elimination.
Tobias, you
game.
hate Tobias.
I do.
You just hate him.
I do. Took up a max slot for 5 years alongside Embiid.
He was getting scraps, though. He was getting tough. He was getting scraps.
Yeah, great to see him bear down in an elimination game. That was cool. Love the effort, man. Zero points.
You're right.
He scored 0 points in Game 6 last year.
He can disappear. He really can. All right, 610-632-0975. So the news broke yesterday. We were talking about this. Later at night, the news broke that they had caught the Delco Deucer.
Yes. And there's video of it floating around.
There is video, and there's some sound, and we're going to play it.
This went national,
This
too.
repulsive story out of Delaware County. We had a call on it yesterday. Says they know who it was. They identified him right away. Listen, you can rob a bank. You can hide in the woods for forever. Well, you poop on somebody's hood.
Oh, they're coming.
They got you. 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Phillies fall in the series finale. I'm Ray Dunn with his Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies lost 4-2 to the Nationals on Thursday night as defensive miscues and lack of timely hitting sunk them. They had won the first 2 of the 3 games set and will take 2 of 3 over the Nats as Brad Lord for the Nationals limited the Phillies last night to just 2 runs at 5+ innings, striking out 4. Taijuan Walker allowed just 1 earned, but did allow 4 runs because of a 6th inning that was plagued by defensive miscues by the Phils. Walker going 5 2/3, lowering his ERA to 2.54 on the season. And now the Phils turn their attention to the Diamondbacks for a 3-game series this weekend. Jesus Luzardo taking the mound tonight against Merrill Kelly with first pitch at 6:45 down at Citizens Bank Park. Coming up at noon, we'll talk to 2008 World Series champion Jason Worth about this Phillies team and his horse, Flying Mohawk, competing in the Kentucky Derby. Also today in Philadelphia, Eagles rookies meet with the media as rookie minicamp is getting started. Elsewhere in sports, Tobias Harris and the Pistons lost 116-113 to the Knicks in Game 6 and were eliminated in the first round of the NBA playoffs. The Clippers, James Harden extending their season, knocking off the Nuggets last night, forcing a Game 7. This update is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. That feeling of owning your first Mercedes-Benz, hard to believe, but it's real. From leather stitching, the iconic design, every element of Mercedes lives up to its reputation. See for yourself at your local dealer. I'm Ray Dunn, and your home for Truist Championship coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
chat. I continue to be amused by people that are unnerved by flopping. Come on, man. Like, what? You're trying to get an advantage for your team by being a little crafty. And if they call it a flop, they call it a flop. If they call it a foul, they call it a foul. I don't understand how trying to get an edge for your team is a bad thing. It's against the macho rules of sport.
You got to put your computer on mute, though.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I thought I heard playback.
I'm sorry.
Brunson is the prime example of a player that if he's on your team, you're going to love him. And if he's on another team, he's going to annoy the crap
He's on another team, and I still love him.
I'm talking about from a typical fan's perspective. Because
Why?
Because it's the same thing with Joel Embiid. When Joel Embiid would get fouled all the time, there were other fan bases who have been like, oh, he just flops. And our response was always, well, don't foul him then. Then play within the rules. Be under control on defense. Don't do things
the same thing
foul
that applies to Brunson.
I agree with you. But I'm saying most fans, I don't even want to paint that most fans, but I think the fans who get annoyed by it are the same fans that if Brunson was on the Sixers would be screaming his praises. It just annoys you. There's certain players in the way they do things.
It doesn't annoy me. Why?
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the people who are
I'm just
annoyed.
saying, like, that's what I'm saying. The bigger question is, why does it annoy other people? Like, it's a crafty way to play. It's like, it's not like the guy is just out there trying to get flopped. The guy's scoring 40 points. It's like he's playing the whole game. Part of his edge is he goes fast, he goes slow, he puts it between his legs, he gives you herky-jerky, the defender's trying to get up on him, boom, he runs into him. That's a flop?
No, but he does. Yeah, he tries to draw fouls.
Too. Okay,
he does try to draw the fouls.
He's 6'2". If he goes to the line, he's like a 90% free throw shooter. That helps his team. Of course he's trying to draw fouls.
That's what I'm saying. If he's on your team as a general fan,
I get it, man.
If he's on your team, you're going to love him.
There are players that are worth your admiration, and there are players that are not. And you watch that kid play. If he's not worth your admiration, and you're focused on him flopping, you're an idiot. Seriously, you're a flat idiot.
He does flop a little bit.
Who cares?
Just a little. Well, look,
I don't get this. What is this macho code of yours?
It's not me. Didn't the NBA?
It is. You were going crazy about Mahomes.
Didn't the NBA put in a rule last year that they were going to start calling flopping?
Yes.
Right? So it's not just this macho attitude. It's because the NBA felt like the flopping was hurting the game.
So there you go. They can call it if they want. Are they calling it on him? He's crafty enough to not get the call like that.
I don't know why we're fighting over this.
Because
I'm not disagreeing with you.
I'm ready to go with you in the stupid Mahomes thing where he
that was ridiculous.
A little hit before he went out of bounds to get a 15-yard penalty to help his team.
See, now I don't respect what Mahomes did. Like, I don't respect
Macho Bill.
It's not
I
macho.
don't respect it.
I don't respect what Mahomes did because Mahomes, as a quarterback in the NFL, you get a higher level of protection than any other position. So to go out of your way and try to exploit that protection is not just playing within the rules. It's you're being a punk now. Oh, boy. You should be embarrassed. With Brunson, I'm with you. His flopping, even though, yes, he does flop, it doesn't bother me as much as what Mahomes did. That, to me, was just a major violation.
I don't understand. Like, it's a crafty way to play the game. You're trying to get every edge possible. This is hard, man. It's hard to succeed in professional leagues. If you find a little edge, you can take advantage of the stupidity of somebody else by slowing your roll down, by being herky-jerky, and they commit a foul. You've done your job. I don't get it. I really don't. I'm sorry. I don't get it. I know the chat board's going to be all over this. Oh, like flopping is it's against the macho code of the game. How's your chat today? You're back in control of the chat, aren't you?
I haven't been checking it as much, but now they're talking about that.
What's going on, Ray? Are you?
He's abandoning them. Is what's happening.
I'm here.
Are you checking it, Ray?
I am checking it.
They're saying SGA is a big flopper too. They're saying.
Oh yeah,
I love SGA.
He's a big flopper too. Come on with this.
Show me a great scorer of the last 25 years in the NBA that has not done it without free throws. Is it Curry? Is that the only one that's done it without a consistent high volume of free throws?
I think it's pretty high volume, doesn't he? He's like a 90% free throw shooter.
Well, no, I'm not making free throws. I mean taking free throws.
I thought he took a lot. I don't know.
He might. Maybe I have him underrated in terms of the number of free throws he took per game. I'm agreeing with you on this one. Like, I think that people get upset with the whistles that some guys get, but
It's unbelievable.
that's how talented they are.
I don't understand it. It's like you're crafty enough to get a whistle to help your team. Like, how is that a bad thing? Other than the fact that you hate Villanova or you may hate the Knicks or whatever it is, like, how do you watch that kid play? And it's like, oh, see, he's getting his comeuppance. He's only got 2 points in the fourth quarter. And all of a sudden, boom, he takes over the game. A little 6'2" guy. A little squat 6'2" guy against all these great athletes getting to the basket. Fadeaways, 3-point pull-up, boom. It's incredible. He takes a 3-point shot with the game tied to win the game. You don't even need a 3. Buries it.
They're calling you Mikey Knicks on the text line.
Mikey Knicks. How do you watch that team? They're not going to win anything. They're not going to beat the Celtics.
No,
obviously. But that game last night was phenomenal.
Yes, they're not going to beat the Celtics. Hey, look, I don't want people to take this the wrong way. I would love Jalen Brunson on the Sixers. He's a great player. I agree with you. I respect his greatness. But when you're on the other side of it, like last season, watching the Knicks-Sixers series, when you're on the other side of it, it does annoy you a little bit with all the calls that he creates. I'm not saying he's doing anything wrong. It's the rules within the NBA. But I understand when you're on the other side of it that it gets to you. It's frustrating to watch.
Why does it annoy you that he gets called?
I'm saying when your team's playing against him.
Okay.
I could respect what he did last night because I don't care about Detroit. But when you're watching it happen to your hometown team, when you're watching it happen to your Sixers, or if I'm a Pistons fan,
why don't you get annoyed with your own defender? He lures into a foul. How about that?
Yeah, I feel like I'm just trying to play the devil's advocate of the fans who get annoyed here, not me.
Yeah, was the chat board getting annoyed? Mikey Knicks. I'm actually like of all the teams left, I am rooting for the Knicks. I like the way they play. They're depleted, but as opposed to the Boston Celtics and the Cleveland Cavaliers and those teams. They're like an underdog team for me right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing the Knicks.
Yeah, they're not that deep. Sometimes Karl-Anthony Towns plays, sometimes he doesn't. They got to be carried by Jalen Brunson and occasionally Josh Hart and occasionally Mikal Bridges. That's the way it works. They can't even use Deuce McBride anymore. He's hit a wall off the bench.
Deuce.
They don't even know. Who do they bring off the bench that contributes? Robinson at center. That's about it. They're like a 7-man team.
I want to be clear on something, though, here.
Go ahead.
I went to bed last night thrilled they won. I woke up today back hating them.
Yeah, why do you hate the Knicks?
Because of the Knicks. I don't want them to succeed.
But the Knicks they're not even viable. Like, what? Why would you hate a team that's not viable? You hate the Celtics?
Oh, yeah.
No,
I want Cleveland to come out of the East.
But you'd be rooting for the Knicks in this series, right? You'd rather. I'd like to see the Knicks knock off the Celtics.
See, the problem is then the Knicks get to the conference finals, and I would prefer that we continue to be miserable alongside them without going to the conference finals.
Misery loves company.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
If the Celtics played the Knicks, who are you rooting for?
They are playing each other.
Yeah, so probably the Celtics because I want the Knicks to be miserable with us. I don't want them to get to
You're rooting for the Celtics, but you hate the Celtics.
Correct.
You hate the Knicks more.
I don't want the Knicks to accomplish something I haven't seen the Sixers do at this point. I would love for their ceiling also to be the second round. I would love them to be as miserable as we are.
And so that miserable Boston team, with every guy on that team is a hate to face.
Yeah.
Every guy on that team is hate to face.
No, I understand. It's going to be another hate watch for me. This series, the Knicks Pistons was a hate watch where I realized I prefer Tobias to lose.
I'm all in on the knickknacks.
Wait, hold on. I got a question for you.
What?
Every guy on the Celtics is hate to face.
Yeah.
But you're saying that you respect good players, and that's why you like Jalen Brunson. You don't respect how good Brown or Tatum is?
I respect totally how good they are. But they're all hate to faces.
So why can't you have a similar feel towards Brunson?
Boston's going to – what do you mean? He's not a hate to face.
Yeah, but I'm saying, for the fans who dislike that Brunson flops, how come they can't do that, but you don't like Tatum?
I'm only hating on face, not ability. I'm hating on face.
What about
Jalen Brown has a hate to face.
I don't think he does.
Yes, he does.
Tatum does.
Hate to face. Tatum has a hate to face.
Tatum's the way he is a hate.
Derek White's a hate to face because he's he's so cavalier. Who else? Every guy. Peyton Pritchard, hate to face.
So Celtics hate to face.
They're all hate to face.
Jalen Brunson love.
Jalen Brunson is a 6'2" guard who's dominating the league. Now,
and he's an Eagles fan.
I'm going to sit here and hate him.
And he's an Eagles fan.
6'2" guard. Could have gone to Temple.
You're getting called.
Who could have gone to Temple, Ray?
People
We're
are
not
saying
getting into that.
Mikey Metz, man. Mikey Metz is loving the New
Mikey
York
has
teams.
nothing to do with the Mets. Mikey is rooting. If you can't sit here and root for the Knicks against the Celtics in this series, there's something wrong with you.
Well, Ray gave you his reasoning. Wait, how long? Since I never followed your career, how long were you in New York doing radio? Because I think that rubbed off on you too much.
Google me.
Too much Mikey Knicks.
612
Google me.
0975. Hey, climb into the show. The Mike Missanelli Show. On the other side, the lady who relieved her bowels at the drop of a pin, then pulled up her drawers over her nasty rear end and sat in a car to drive again, got arrested yesterday. We'll have the sound of it after this.
Connor Thomas.
It's crazy.
Twelve o'clock. Jason Worth, former Phil, who got booed here mercifully for like 5 years straight because he took the bag to go to the Nationals. I wonder if he, I'm going to ask him about that. How'd that feel? He's a stoic guy. He didn't care.
He's been forgiven now. Everyone loves him.
He's had an influence on Bryce. All that stuff. All that good stuff. We'll ask him.
Yeah.
Especially, how much does it cost to have a horse in a stable like that?
Oh, it's got to be ridiculous. It's got to be ridiculously expensive. Especially like these types of horses, these race horses. It's wild, man. But then I'm assuming like his horse that won last year, you stud it out, right? You make all your money back.
Yeah. That's what you got to get, I guess. Then you still got to pay for the feed and the hay and the goats to come in.
Oh, yeah, they keep it company,
keep
right?
it company.
So interesting that they want to have company.
The horse?
Yeah. I've always been intrigued by horses. Very beautiful
They like
animals.
simple minds. The horse is a simple animal, like not too cerebral. So, you know, the little pleasures, like a little goat. Coming in there.
You ever eat goat?
No. Why would I eat goat?
So there's a place.
I barely can eat veal.
There's a restaurant over in Jersey called The Farm and the Fisherman, and they had these goat tacos that were out of this world.
That used to be in Center City, by the way.
Yeah, and then it moved to Cherry Hill.
Yeah.
Dude, that's the only time I think I've ever eaten goat. I mean, I do love goat cheese, different, but goat tacos, the meat, it's delicious.
Yes, you really need to eat a goat.
I mean, do you need to eat a cow? What's the difference?
You do. Because cows have been raised for American consumption. Were goats been raised for American consumption?
They eat a lot of goat in other countries. I believe.
They do. I'm talking about American consumption. Why would you eat goat?
No, but if it's on the menu.
In another country?
If a goat's on the menu, what's the difference?
In Jamaica, they eat goat.
But, dude, I'm telling you, it's very flavorful meat. May also be my favorite cheese.
When you bite into it, does it go,
Isn't that a lamb? Wait, what's the difference between a goat and a lamb?
Eat.
Are they in the same family of animals?
What's the difference between a goat and a lamb? Ray's looking at you like you have 3 heads.
Look, lambs and goats are very similar, Ray.
He's going to AI for the answer.
So again, it's not necessarily the questions you ask. It's more the fact that you let your internal thoughts slip out on the air consistently. Like
no filter.
Yeah. Like
a very similar animal, a goat and a lamb.
Which makes sense. If you think about the two, there are similarities between them.
A lamb and a sheep were very similar animals, not a goat. It's a lamb and a sheep.
Throw all 3 of them in the mix. Goat, lamb, and sheep.
You shear a lamb and a sheep. You don't shear a goat.
Yeah, but like look at dogs, for instance, right? They're all dogs, but yet there's several breeds of dog. Like you look at a goat, a lamb, and a sheep, you could almost argue they're all the same animal, but just a different breed.
Nothing that a goat has nothing in common with a sheep. What would a goat have in common with a sheep?
Sheeps and goats share several similarities, primarily due to their close genetic and evolutionary relationship. You see, you think I'm crazy here. I'm spot on. I'm like a zoologist in here.
Yeah.
Sheep and a lamb, I thought. Very had a little lamb. His fleece was white as snow. The fleece is the goat, not the goat. The fleece is the lamb and the sheep.
I think you're right.
You ever wear a goat fleece quarter zip?
No, you're correct.
All right.
But I do want you to try goat meat.
No.
It's an excellent meat.
I have no desire to try goat meat.
Rumor has it the Delco Deucer ate goat prior to her road rage incident.
She was asked that question. All right, let's get to it. This disgusto-meter who defecated on somebody's hood in a road rage thing, climbed back in her car with a dirty ass, and then the hunt was on. It was like, who's that guy that does the hunts on TV?
Dog the Bounty Hunter?
John somebody. He puts the bounty on. Well, yeah, it could be Dog the Bounty Hunter going after her. But the police, the Delco police, what township was that they got her?
Prospect Park?
Prospect Park police? They put the APB out on that dirty rear end. Oh, we're looking for a woman. She's like in her early 40s with blondish hair, a little heavy set, with a dirty rump. Just look at this. Look at the soiled drawers, and you got. All right, let's hear what we have. Here's the sound, Ray, of the arrest.
Can you tell us what happened?
The lady chased me. She chased me, and I asked her not to attack me. She chased you? I have a sickness. You said she chased you? Yeah, she chased me, and I got out and begged her to stop. Better to do. Listen to her side of the story.
Listen to her side of the story, Mike. You see, you're jumping to conclusions. There's another side to the story.
She was stalking me, and I got out.
But listen to her side of the story.
Yeah, listen to her side of the story. But didn't they ask her what she had to eat?
Somebody yelled in the background.
Do we have that?
Well, you can kind of hear it. That's why she says, I have a sickness. Because he's like, what'd you eat? Somebody else.
Oh, my God. What a slob. I can't get over it. I just can't get over this story. Listen, if the husband's listening to the show, please give us a call. I want to talk about this. I want to see what it's like.
Oh, my God. But what could her side of the story be, Mike? Like, really, what
she comes
explanation
home,
could she have?
She comes home and the husband goes, what?
Now, imagine being the person driving the other car.
What did you do? What's that?
What are you doing if you're in the other car? Like, where are you going after that?
Well, you're going right to the car wash.
I would
Close
think.
that off. First.
But could you? All right, I just want you to picture this: pulling up into one of those automatic car washes, and the guy that has to wave you forward. He's got. Could you imagine?
No, you got.
I'd be like, listen, man, I'm sorry.
To one of those do-it-yourself Sprite things to get that.
I wouldn't want it to splatter on me. But could you imagine trying to describe what happened to the car wash attendant? Some woman just did this on the front of my car. No one's believing you.
Hun, I'm not staying here tonight. Sorry, I'm out. You and your smelly butt can take care of yourself tonight.
They got her for a lot of charges, though. My understanding.
Yeah, what are the charges? Do we have the charges there listed, Bill?
I'd have to pull it up.
They threw the book at her. I'm telling you, you could be on the lam in this country for years. You could change your identity and live in France, and nobody will catch you for like some big crime. But you put a little poopy on a hood, and they come out in droves. They do. And all they do. How do you catch her? Follow the scent.
I'm trying to find what the charges were, but they got him with a lot. They got her with a lot.
All right.
Oh my God.
We'll find out.
We'll find out. But
We'll give her. We'll get all the charges done with this.
But there's another side to the story, according to her.
What is this side of the story?
I don't know. She was being chased.
She was being chased. She got out, and instead of saying, "Don't chase me," she decided to have a bowel movement.
Ray, do you know what the charges were? Were you able to find it yet?
No, I thought you had them in front of you. Sorry.
Does she have children? I feel so sorry for the children.
Well, the person who called
sorry
us
for the husband. I really do. Your life now, it will be just miserable after something like this. Oh, you're the. Is your mom the one that? Yeah. Come on, man. 610-632-0975.
Right, here's the charges real quick.
You got them?
I got them real quick. So she was charged with indecent exposure,
1,
disorderly conduct,
2,
criminal mischief,
3,
harassment,
4,
and depositing waste on the highway.
No, what?
Yes.
Depositing waste on the highway?
Yes.
I mean,
technically.
That checks out.
Oh, my God. You know what that carries the sentence of? Imodium.
Oh, man.
610-632-0.
Rookie mini camp starts today.
Yeah. Here's the packet. Take 2 of these. Like Missanelli show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
How do I follow that segment? I'm done with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies lost 4-2 to the Nationals on Thursday night as defensive miscues and lack of timely hitting sunk them in the game. They do take 2 of 3 from the Nationals in this series. It was Brad Lord last night that limited the Phillies to 2 runs and 5+ innings, striking out 4 batters. Taijuan Walker allowed just 1 earned, but did allow 4 runs, all of them coming in that 6th inning and 5 2/3 innings, lowering his ERA to 2.54 on the season. And now the Phillies turn their attention to the Diamondbacks for a 3-game series this weekend. Jesus Luzardo takes the mound tonight against Merrill Kelly with first pitch at 6:45. Coming up at noon, we'll talk to 2008 World Series champion Jason Worth about this Phillies team and his horse Flying Mohawk competing in the Kentucky Derby. Also today in Philadelphia, Eagles rookies will meet with the media as rookie minicamp is getting started down there at NovaCare. Elsewhere in sports, Tobias Harris and the Pistons lost 116-113 the Knicks in Game 6, so Detroit's season is over. James Harden and the Clippers extended their season, forcing a Game 7 against the Nuggets. And some news out of the NBA in the last minute or so here. Shams reporting that Greg Popovich is transitioning to become the full-time team president of the San Antonio Spurs. He will no longer be the head coach of the Spurs. This update is brought to you by the PGA Tour's Truist Championship. The Truist Championship is coming to the Philadelphia Cricket Club's Wissahickon course May 7th through 11th. Tickets are on sale now at truistchampionship.com. That's truistchampionship.com. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for coverage of the Truist Championship, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
All I am 11:54, Mike Missanelli Show. What do you think of that column? Column Dave Murphy, I think it was, in the Inquirer, said the Phillies are cooked. They're cooked. He says they're cooked. What do you think?
It's, I think, a little over the top, but I kind of understood what his point was. But he does say in there that if they make it into the postseason, they got to hope that their starting pitching can carry them through. And when you have a starting pitching staff like they do, you could win any series. I mean, you really could. But the issue for me is, are they going to win enough games in the regular season to get there with how deep this National League is? But I'm not ready to say a 17-14 team with a pitching staff like they have, with a lineup like they have, is cooked. I think that's a little early.
It is a little early, but the playoff locks right now would be Mets.
Are they? I think they are, but I think the Mets are extremely good.
I think they'll win the division. Mets, Cubs, Dodgers.
So you got the Dodgers winning, even though the Padres are only a game and a half back.
Yeah,
but I agree with you.
I think the Dodgers will.
So you got the Dodgers, the Cubs. The Cubs, I think, definitely. I'm not ready to say that the Phillies can't win the NL East. They're only 3.5 back of the Mets, and the Mets have been playing unbelievable.
You're right, they could. But for the sake of this the discussion.
All right, so let's say Mets, Cubs, Dodgers. So now we need 3 wild
cards. Padres, right now, it goes Padres, Giants, D-backs.
Yeah, the Phillies, I believe. I believe the Phillies right now.
1 out.
Well, they would be.
They 1 out for the Diamondbacks?
They got the same record as the Diamondbacks.
They do? Okay.
Yeah, both teams are 17.
So tie break could apply here in this series coming up.
It's a big series, too. And
huge series.
Like, I think Ray put this on the show sheet. The Phillies got to show that they can beat these better teams, too. I mean, they just did it against Chicago. But if you play the Diamondbacks the way you played the Nationals, you're probably not winning the series. The Nationals gave you some gifts the other night. Diamondbacks are a lot better team. So hopefully.
All right, let me ask you this. The future of the Giants. Fade? Padres are good. The Padres are going to be there to the end. They might win a division, so in which case you'd have the Dodgers as a wild card. Giants. Fade?
Probably.
All right. There you go. That's all you need. You're one of those to fade. Giants, D-backs. You're in.
Yeah, it's just the Giants. Their offense has been so good.
Cubs, Phillies. First round series.
Cubs and Phillies?
Mm-hmm.
I just can't imagine that the Cubs keep up this offensive explosion.
Oh, no, the Cubs would play the top, right? Yeah, the Cubs would play the top wild card.
Well, yeah, so you're saying if it's
Cubs, Padres,
if it's Dodgers, Cubs, Mets,
the Cubs would be the worst of the 3 division winners, so they would have to play a wild card series.
So they would play the worst
No, they would play the best wild card, wouldn't they?
No, they play the worst because the Mets and the Dodgers would have the bye.
All right, they would play the Phillies then.
Yeah, so it would be Cubs and Phillies if the Phillies were the last wild card team.
Okay.
In a best
the Giants are out. It would be the Padres and Diamondbacks. Phillies play the winner of that. They would beat the Cubs.
That wild card series, I always forget this. Refresh my memory. Best of 3 or best of 5?
5.
Wild card series is 3.
Yeah. Okay.
3.
Division series is 5.
Division's 5.
Championship series is 7.
Yeah. So you're talking 3 games against the Cubs. You got to win 2 of them.
You have all 3 there.
You got Wheeler in one of them. If it sets up that way with your rotation. Man, who would be your game 2 starter? Would you go Sanchez?
I don't know. It's an away game.
So you going Luzardo? Would you trust Nola?
Experienced pitcher. Nola we get to start. 2. Wheeler, Nola in Chicago. If you need a game 3, who would it be? Luzardo or
Sanchez back home?
No, all 3 games would be there.
Oh, that's right. All 3 are there.
All 3 games would be there.
So do you trust Sanchez on the road yet? I think by then.
Think so?
We'll trust him on the road.
All right. You're listening to the Mike Missanelli Show. It's 97.5 The Fanatic. It is WPN and WPN HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. We're heading into our 12 o'clock hour. We're going to give you a chance to win $1,000. There's also Jason Worth coming your way, and our 12 o'clock hour is going to be brought to you by Service First HVAC offering 0% financing for 48 months, rebates and tax credits up to $4,300 when purchasing a heating and cooling system. And you can learn more at ServiceFirstHVAC.com. 10 seconds left until we get to the noontime hour. Ray, I'm hearing a fictional cash register. I think it's in the background. Do I hear it? Here it comes. Yes!
The Fanatic signing bonus.
There it is. Time for the Fanatic signing bonus. Your chance to win $1,000. Your contest keyword right now is trade. Oh, Trade. In that, will the Phillies trade Ranger Suarez for a couple of relief pitchers? I said that, and Ray got all mad at me. He's not talking to me ever again. You have to 25 minutes after the hour to enter it on the Fanatic mobile app, word 975fanatic.com, or you can text it to the special contest short code 45911. One random entry wins $1,000 in this company-wide contest. Each winner gets a call from Beasley, so be sure to answer your phone contest rules at 975thefanatic.com. Fanatic signing bonus is presented by Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia, voted best casino in PA by Casino Player Magazine. 5 chances to win each weekday, 8 and 10 a.m., 12 noon, 3 and 5 p.m. Good luck. All right, it's the 12 o'clock hour, and we will have news at noon, but that's going to come up a little bit later.
Yeah, because we got a more important thing to do. Not that the news at noon isn't important, Ray. Let me not put that down. But do we have Jason Worth? Is he ready?
It's coming up. We don't have him ready.
Oh, Ray's working on it now.
We're trying to get him now. Yeah.
So you're going to talk to Jason Worth about if he's still following the Phils, but then maybe he'd give us some inside information on the Derby, dude. You going to bet the Derby this weekend?
I always bet the Derby. Always. I get to the OTB.
Now,
I put my bets in?
Now, do you sit around, you watch all because the pregame of the Derby is a whole day affair. You watching it all day long, or you just turn it on right for the race?
I'll catch a couple of races, but I won't normally bet those. You can't bet. I don't know if you can bet them on the service.
What do you mean
on the betting services? I don't know if the Kentucky Derby you can bet the Kentucky Derby.
On FanDuel, you can.
You can? Yeah. I Bet Rivers the one I used. You couldn't.
Yeah, I mean, like I did my read earlier. FanDuel says it's the first sports book that lets you do it.
Okay.
So, yeah, but you have to have it. It's like a different. It's not on their sports book. There's a race book. So it's like a separate.
Well, here's what I do. I bet trifectas and I box them.
And then what? As long as they place in the top 3, you hit. Doesn't matter the order.
Right. Yeah, it's a bigger price, but you got to pay for the box of all 3 combinations. But I usually put the favorite in there with another good horse and probably one with a little bigger odds.
I'm going to follow your lead then.
All right, we'll have to handicap it. We'll look at the whole card here. But Journalist is the favorite in the race, and that's got a special connection to me. The last time I won, I bet Editor's Note. Now Journalist,
because of your past,
exactly.
History. So MG Missanelli's making this bet.
That is correct. It's just a matter of how much would you bet.
I'm going Flying Mohawk, and that's not pandering to our next guy.
You're going Flying Mohawk? Ah, yeah, that's 30-1 piece.
30-1.
We'll see if that horse has a chance, by the way. Flying Mohawk right now, 30-1. Okay, I got you. All right, we're still waiting on Jason.
Oh, okay, so we're waiting.
Yeah, we're waiting on
So while we're waiting on him, today is rookie minicamp for the Eagles.
Yeah.
So one of the first things they have to do, Mike, is they give out jersey numbers.
Yeah.
Dude.
All right.
Oh, we got Worth? Because I got to tell you, Jihad Campbell's jersey number. It's hideous.
Okay, we'll get into that.
We'll get into it.
But anyway, the Kentucky Derby's coming up. It's a very exciting event. And my man's been intimately involved since he left his baseball career. The former right field star for the Philadelphia Phillies joins us right now. Jason Worth. Hello, Jason.
Guys, what's up? We got a little thing going on over here. It's called the Kentucky Derby. You guys ready or what?
Yeah, we are ready. Like I said, it's to me, it's the best sporting event to ever be at, and for you to be intimately involved in this with a horse in the race, it's got to be terribly exciting for you, right?
Yeah, it's nuts. Lucked out last year. The first colt I got into, Dornick was a minority owner, and we got a little piece of a little taste of what it's like. We ran 10th in the Derby. We won the Belmont, run the Haskell, ran 4th in Travers. Unbelievable summer. And I said that was a once in a lifetime opportunity. and I meant it. This year, Flying Mohawk is in the Kentucky Derby, and honestly, it was not on the bingo card, right? He was a $70,000 turf horse that turned into a nice turf horse, and then my trainer Whit Beckman has this crazy idea to run him in the Jeff Ruby Stakes. It's a Derby prep race, and he ran second to get 50 points and enough points to be in the Derby. And my trainer's just crazy enough to take a shot in the Kentucky Derby. So here we are.
Jason, the training method is fascinating to me. Now do you get to the track early to see how they train this horse, and what do you look for?
Oh, I'm so new to this. I've got no idea what's going on. I'm just along for the ride. I'm starting to learn more and more about it. But there's so much about the sport. There's so many cool aspects of it, and the training is one of. I don't like. I'll get up and they train at like 6 a.m. So it's hard to be in every day and get up and with these guys. Hey, but it's incredible. They train all morning. And they sleep all day. They eat all day. They're eating while you're sleeping, sort of thing. So they're not cheap, but they are incredible.
Yeah, they're not cheap, and that's what I was going to ask you, because you've been obviously you had a horse that won the Belmont Stakes, so the stud fees are fantastic. Keeps you guys going a little bit. But what is the expense like to train these kind of horses for these big races?
I mean, they need to win. They need to run in big races and win. They aren't cheap. It's like anything. You're kind of you're paying for entertainment. I started my syndicate Icon Racing, and people are like, "Well, send me the investment deck." I was like, "Well, hold on a second. This isn't an investment. This is entertainment. You're buying season tickets. You're taking the family to Disneyland. You're going to the boys' trip to Vegas, and you're buying lotto tickets. It's literally, that's the type of game. You can hit big, you can win, you can make a lot of money, or you can lose. It's not an easy game.
You won a World Series, and I remember when you won when Dvorak won the Belmont. You kind of related the two experiences. As an owner, as a player winning World Series, as an owner of a horse that wins that kind of race, how does it compare?
It's very similar. There's a lot of parallels between the two sports, and as a player, you really get the sense of when you own a horse of like when those horses leave the gate, it feels like you're back on the field. I tell people this is an unbelievable sport. For retired athletes for that reason. But it's just one of those things, man. You get into it, you start peeling back the layers, you start learning about it, and there's a lot to it. You fall in love with the horses, you fall in love with the lifestyle, and just traveling around, following the horses, going to the track. It's just a totally different way of life. But as an owner, you create this bond with these horses. They're like family pets. They're like, they become part of your life. And then on race day, when they leave the gate, you feel like you're racing. It's incredible.
It is amazing. All right, I'm going to run a trifecta by you. Tell me if I'm okay. I'm going to get Flying Mohawk in there in a box trifecta, but I got to throw in my journalism as a favor. And then I like this horse. I like the 12-1 or is it 15-1? Burnham Square. What do you think?
Awesome horse. Yeah, I like that. I like journalism looks great. The favorites don't typically win in the Derby. We'll see. He hasn't ran in a crowd yet. I don't think. Maybe his first race, but he's running in out there in California with short field, five horses typically. But he's an awesome horse. When you see him on the turf, on the track in the morning training, just walking, he's a freak. He's one of those.
Sight, yep.
He's one of those, just gorgeous horses. And he was on the track the other day. He was just out there jogging. He looked like a dressage horse. He was like prancing. He's incredible. Oh, Burnham Square is awesome. The Final Gambit horse that won the Jeff Ruby that we ran second in. Yeah. He's been training great. He looks good.
30-1 Final Gambit.
Yeah,
right along with your horse.
I'm gonna have a big super with those four, I like Sovereignty, and I like the Napoleon horse, but he scratched today, so I'm going to take a look at it a little bit later. But those are my 4 or 5 horses for the Super.
We're talking to Jason. We're talking to Jason Ward. Let's talk some ball. Do you get a chance to watch the Phils much?
I don't. I didn't even pay attention in April when I played, let alone when I don't play. I was such a slow starter. Maybe I should have paid attention more. But as the summer heats up, as the weather gets warmer, I warm up to the sport, and then I follow kind of.
No, they need a bullpen, Jason. They need a pen.
Well, who doesn't? Everybody needs a bullpen. You want to win, you got a pen. You want to win, you got to have good starting pitching. You got to play good defense, and you got to hit. That's what it takes, and you don't have to do it in April. You got to do it as the season goes on.
Jason, let me ask you a question. You started out as a catcher in professional baseball. I wonder if you ever had any thoughts that had you stayed a catcher, you could have been Buster Posey.
If I would have stayed a catcher, I would have been busted down.
Well, they made the right move putting you in the outfield, and especially when you finally won the job in 20. You were a big fan favorite. People loved you here, and then 2011 happens. The feeling of losing in 2011, was there a sense that it's over? We maximized what we had here
for the Phillies.
Yeah.
So I mean, I was my first year in Washington. I mean, I kind of. The writing was on the wall for me a little bit. That they made it very clear that I wasn't part of the program going forward. They had a bunch of aging players. They couldn't sign the whole team to big contracts, and I understood that it's a business, but Ryan getting hurt in the playoffs. Was a big blow to the team, but like that they pretty much dismantled that team and went into tanking mode not long after I left. So
well, listen, nobody could blame you for taking that kind of a bag. You get to Washington, but when you came back here, you were booed. I always wonder how you perceive that.
Unmercifully. I mean, just probably as bad as anybody's been booed for 7 straight years.
Yeah.
But I was the best opposing player over those 7 years statistically. For 7 straight years, I was the best away player in Citizens Bank Park. So it was an endearing thing for me. I loved the boos. It only lit a fire, but I knew they were doing it. Well, they were mad. I understand why they did it, but it was a respect thing, right? They don't.
Yeah.
Of
course it was. And you used it as fuel, which is interesting because it could crumble some other people. So you go to Washington. Give me your experience with Bryce, and now when you look at him now, I mean, you had a big influence on him, obviously. But what did you see? What kind of player did you see when you went over there?
Well, when we got him, he was 19 years old. I mean, he was just a puppy. He was just a kid. We had a lot of work to do. He was not the easiest kid to bring up, but he's turned into just a phenomenal player, teammate, human being. I'm proud of the person that Bryce is, and I was probably the most critical, the most toughest one on him, and I'm not ashamed of it. I think that it was deserving at some times. He needed somebody to keep him in line, and now we see the product that that he has now, the person that he's become. The man that he is, the father, the husband, the teammate. I'm proud of him.
How were you hard on him? What did you do? What kind of things did you do with him?
I mean, you're with these guys day in, day out. I mean, if you can, you can let things go, or you can address it. I was very upfront with Bryce. I was very straightforward with him. And
you thought he was too cocky?
No, I didn't mind his arrogance.
Yeah,
it was just some of the stuff. The way he went about some things, he was just, he's a 19-year-old kid, 20-year-old kid. Didn't really have any time in the minor leagues. He was on the cover of Sports Illustrated in 16. You got to pay your dues in this game, and you got to go about the right way, and you got to be a professional, and that's what the minor leagues teaches you. And it's a humbling game, and the game will humble you.
Where were you? Where were you when Hamels hit him, and where were you with the Papelbon confrontation?
When Hamels hit him. I think. What did he do? That was
He didn't
when,
do. He didn't do anything. He just
no, but
stood up.
he ended up. No, he did. He stole home. I think that like right that after he got hit. I don't know if it was that. If it was that after he got hit or that it was that series, and it was like that was one of those moments where that pissed him off, and you could see you could see it light the fire. Like he wasn't going to back down, and he stole home right in that sequence there. That was kind of one of those things where he was looking to get him back. The Papelbon thing is kind of funny looking back on it. At the time. Obviously, it was it wasn't as funny. We were having we were supposed to win the World Series that year, and we just fallen out of I think we got eliminated or something, and there was some back and forth with Bryce and Pap in the paper, and so we weren't winning. Everything was kind of heated. People had each other's throats, and it was kind of just a culmination of a bad season.
Yeah.
Really, it was one of those things. But unfortunate. I saw Pap's rendition on some podcast of
Yeah.
Pap's a mouse. He cracked me up, but it was just Bryce didn't give the effort that Pap was looking for that day.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, Jason, listen, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Good luck to Flying Mohawk, man, and have another great day. I see where you cut the hair a little bit. You going to go with the Alexander Dumas look again, or what?
No, it's probably just up under the hat. It's
under the hat. You still got it. Okay.
I still got it. Yeah, it's a superstition thing at this point. It's every time I cut my hair, I either got hurt or something bad happened. So I just stopped cutting my hair altogether.
All right, sounds good. So, Flying Mohawk, what are the chances? Can you pull this major upset?
Oh man, anything can happen in this race. You were in it. We're so grateful to be here. If we get some rain and the turf and the track is the track's wet, great. If it's sloppy, even better. But this race sets up for him distance-wise, and nothing bothers this dude. He's not going to be affected by the number of horses or the trip. And we'll see if he's got the punch to get it done. But awesome horse. He's a cool dude. You go to the barn to hang out with him. He's quite the character. He knows what it's all about. He knows why he's here. You can tell that he knows that he's getting ready to run a big race. It's pretty cool.
Does he have a goat friend?
No, he doesn't need a goat. Only the crazy one needs a goat.
Jason, a pleasure, man. Thanks for being on with us. We appreciate it.
All right, guys. Take it easy. Thanks.
There he is. That's Jason Worth. There you go. Good dude.
Yeah, it sounds like he's having fun with this stage of his life.
Food
now.
unmercifully. Yeah.
I know, but did you see? He took a little jab, though. But I had the best stats of any opposing player.
Use it as fuel. A lot of people don't use it as fuel. My man did. All right, take a break. 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
ESPN's Adam Schefter.
Ranger Suarez about to come back into the rotation. Another starting pitcher. They've got 5 going pretty good right now. Would you trade Ranger Suarez for 2 relief pitchers? I look at it and I go, what could prevent the Phillies from getting in the playoffs? What could prevent the Phillies from doing anything in the playoffs? Their bullpen. It's weak, especially at the bottom half of it. And you only got 2 reliable starters in the high leverage situations. You need 2 bodies to infuse in here. And the only thing that gets you that is, well, if you trade Brandon Marsh, do you get it?
Doubtful.
If you trade Ranger Suarez, do you get it?
If Ranger shows that he's healthy, I'm sure that there's going to be a team that would want a starting pitcher that has Ranger Suarez's resume.
Now, you're right. He seemed to blanch a little bit about going in the bullpen.
Yeah, I don't think he wants.
He didn't endorse it.
Knowing that he's due for his payday this offseason, he needs to be paid like a starting
He kind of
pitcher.
said, I'll kind of do anything the team wants, but...
I mean, even Taijuan Walker said after the game last night...
He'd go to the pen?
That he wants to be a starter.
Oh, he wants to be a starter.
He'll do whatever.
Even Taijuan doesn't want to go to the park.
I mean, even he said he wants to be a starter.
Where are we here? Where are we?
Let me say this about...
Does he have clout for that?
No, but let me say this about Taijuan Walker.
Go ahead.
I criticized him unmercifully, as did every other person in this city, for the way he's pitched. He comes in this season. I'm giving this guy so much credit because not only has he pitched well, the competitiveness with which he plays. Did you see the play he makes in the first inning last night where he dives head first to make that play at first? Then he takes a line drive off of his leg, makes the play, stays in the game. Like
Does the flip?
Yes, but if Taijuan Walker didn't have the pass that he had, I think we'd be looking at this guy this year, and he'd be like a fan favorite because he's laying it all out there on the line. I just have a lot of respect for what Walker has done this season. The guy is playing to win. He's playing competitively. He's laying it all out there. Dude, that head first dive from a man that big to make that play at first in the first inning of really a meaningless game of 162. I respect the guy.
He's doing what he's supposed to do, Bill.
He's playing hard.
Well, what pitcher wouldn't try to make a play like that? Like, what is he singled out for his courage here? What's his fear factor?
What I'm saying is, based off of the way this guy was ripped and how he came in this season with the right mindset, changed his approach on the mound a little bit, and the fact that he's pitching well, I give him a lot of respect. There's a lot of guys who would have just never recovered from the way last year went.
Overboard, my man. You got to make plays like that. That's your
Listen to me.
That's your goal. Your goal is to get the out.
I get
no
that.
matter how you
What
have
I'm
to
saying-
do it. Any pitcher would do that.
What I'm saying is the way that last season went for this guy, coming into this offseason
It's
and
his
coming
job.
into
He gets
spring
paid a
training,
lot of money. He gets paid a lot of money to perform that way.
You're not giving the guy any credit.
It's not like he's a minimum wage guy.
Time out. But you're not giving the guy any credit.
No,
for
he's
getting
doing
his-
what he's supposed to do.
For getting his mind right and coming back and
I don't care about
pitching
his
better,
mind.
pitching better than any of us could have ever dreamed.
I paid that guy to do better than he has been. So if he does better, that's what we're paying him for. I'm not going to give him any special platitudes.
I'm not giving him special platitude.
You are.
What I'm saying is I give the guy a lot of credit for getting his mind right and changing his approach on the mound and coming back and actually being a pretty damn good pitcher to start the season through his first few starts.
Right,
And the toughness in which he's played.
I don't know. Is Bill going overboard here a little bit?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, I think he could have tripped over where the bar was set for him this year. It was quite low for him coming into this season. It's nice that he has been a pitchable pitcher as compared to the end of last season where you threw him out there because you needed to throw somebody out there.
Dude, the guy was getting booed off the mound by his hometown.
And the guy's cashing $18 million a year.
I get all that, but you're
handsomely.
still a human being. I'm just saying it's not the easiest thing to do.
You're still a human being. You don't get judged
Stop.
because you're just a human being.
I'm not saying to judge him by that. What I'm saying is I give the guy credit because there's still a mental side to this game that you remind me of constantly when it comes to baseball. And this was a guy who was being booed unmercifully. Rightfully so. He deserved to be booed. He deserved to be criticized.
Work on your craft when you can work on your craft in the bullpen with the coaches, whatever. And the next time you come out, do your damn job. You don't get special compensation because you overcame some adversity. They paid you to do this kind of a job?
Who's giving him special compensation by acknowledging the fact that he impressed me with how he handled all of the criticism and all of the booing and everything that he went through?
What could he do?
And he came back this year and is performing. And he's
deserved
performing.
every bit of it. What's he supposed to do? Go cry?
Because I didn't realize we were only allowed to criticize and we can't praise a guy when he does something well.
Well, you're going over the top.
How am I going over the top?
Going over the top by admiring the play he makes at first base as an example of, oh, my God.
It was a phenomenal play last night.
Well, any pitcher's going to try to make a phenomenal play there.
Any pitcher may not make that play. Dude, that was a great play by Taijuan Walker.
Yeah, it was.
Or how about when he takes the line drive off the leg and he stays in the game?
Can make that same play.
What I'm saying is when you put it all together, everything that Walker has been through over the last few months, I respect the guy that he is.
Taijuan Walker, you really pick him.
It's ridiculous. We could rip the guy, but we can't praise him that he's pitching
Anybody
well.
with a W for a last name, you're in.
You lost me at fan favorite.
Who's fan favorite?
Well, you said he'd be a fan favorite this year. If you take away everything that's happened, he'd be a fan favorite. No, you can't take away everything that's happened.
What I'm saying is, yes, the way he's pitched and the competitiveness in which he's played with to start this season, I think fans would like him a lot more. But we can't block out what happened, and I understand that. But we've been so critical of this guy, and he deserved it. I don't think it's over the top to acknowledge what he's done to start this season has been impressive.
I'm also curious, are you still standing by I've gotten everything I need from him this season already?
Unless we trade Ranger.
Oh, now we got a caveat.
Sometimes your takes, I go, all right, I get it to an extent, but you go so overboard,
dude,
it's like you're giving the Cy Young Award.
I don't think it's overboard. I didn't say he was a Cy Young Award winner. I didn't say he was a great pitcher. What I said was, with the amount of criticism and booing and everything that this guy went through last year, for him to bounce back mentally the way he did and actually pitch really well, I think should be acknowledged.
Who gets $18 million to do that?
I don't understand what you're missing here.
What do you mean?
I don't understand what you're missing.
If he was just an underdog character who was making a couple of cents, I can see it. They paid him handsomely. He let him down severely. Now I'm supposed to give him credit because he's got a decent ERA for the first 5 starts? Come on.
Coming into this season, did you expect anything out of Taijuan Walker?
I didn't know what to expect from Taijuan Walker.
You didn't expect anything. Nobody did.
He's pitching okay right now with his usual 5 innings. But please. Oh, he made a death-defying play like he's Carl Wallenda on a high wire. Yeah, that he made these plays last night. Crying out loud, Bill.
You're being ridiculous.
I am not being ridiculous.
Yeah,
Ray and I are both. Where's he going?
I don't understand how we can't.
With this
how we can't. We can rip everybody when they play poorly, but we can't give a guy credit who came back after getting booed off the mound for an entire year, and the fact that he's pitching we can't acknowledge it.
It's not so much giving him credit; it's the waxing poetic about the 5th starter that made it through 5 2/3 last night. It wasn't his fault last night. He's had a nice start to the season.
He gave up 1 earned.
Yeah, I know. I've been reading the update.
Your
twice
buddy Bryce let him down.
Yes, my buddy Bryce. That's right. Me and him, best friends.
Get the jersey out of the closet, right?
Me, him, Jason Worth, going to Vegas together. I just think the whole, going on the soliloquy about how we should be grateful for the whole Taijuan experience and how if you just forget about everything else that's happened, it's so great to have him.
What is it with your love of mediocre players?
Breathe.
You have such love for mediocre players.
I have no love. I'm trying to acknowledge that what the guy has done has been impressive. The turnaround
I
has been
be honest
impressive.
with you. The chat must be going crazy. So is the text board on this.
They're coming at you.
Coming at me? What are they coming at me about?
You got
feverish praise of Taijuan Walker, and they're coming at me?
It's not feverish. Someone was saying.
You said he'd be a fan favorite for what he's given you through 5 starts in April.
If it was any other guy, he'd be a fan favorite because he pitches 5 innings.
Listen, you two just lean negative. I try to be a positive guy.
He made a death-defying leap through a ring of fire, and he got an out at first base.
Ray is just very upset today. I'm surprised.
632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
A truly incredible season-defining performance from Taijuan Walker on the mound yesterday. Ray. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. 5 2/3 in that game yesterday for Taijuan Walker. He allows just 1 earned run. His ERA through a month of the season is 2.54. Truly, truly remarkable stuff from Taiwan to start the season. Looking at the rest of the Phillies, they did lose last night, 4-2. The Nationals, Brad Lord limited the Phillies to 2 runs in 5+ innings, striking out 4 in that game. For the Phillies last night, it was defensive miscues and lack of timely hitting that sunk them. They will now turn their attention to the Diamondbacks for a 3-game series this weekend. Jesus Luzardo takes the mound against Merrill Kelly with first pitch coming up at 6:45 tonight. Earlier this hour, we had 2008 World Series champion Jason Worth on, talked about the Phillies' relationship with Bryce Harper. And of course, the Kentucky Derby coming up this weekend. His horse Flying Mohawk is competing in that race. Also today in Philadelphia, the Eagles rookies will meet with the media as rookie minicamp is getting started. And in the world of the NBA, Tobias Harris, the Pistons lost 116-113 to the Knicks in Game 6 last night. Detroit's season is over. As for James Harden and the Clippers, they forced a Game 7 against the Nuggets with a win last night. And Greg Popovich stepping aside as head coach as of the San Antonio Spurs. He will now be the team president going forward. This update is brought to you by Mattress Firm. Get matched and sleep at night during Mattress Firm's Upgrade Your Sleep sale. Take 120 nights to love your bed or your money back. Restrictions apply. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for Truist Championship coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5 today. Well, some news here that Greg Popovich is no longer coach. He's stepping down as head coach for the Spurs. Left the Spurs in good stead. They got a franchise player. They're adding some other players. But for my money, my Mount Rushmore of miserable coaches, he's right there. It goes, just picture it, left to right. Get the stone guy to carve out these faces. Bob Knight, Popovich, Nick Saban, Rolly Massimino. Boom.
These are the miserable coaches?
The miserable Mount Rushmore, right there.
No hockey guys.
No, what hockey guy? So what? Tortorella?
Well,
he's not that famous.
A lot of hockey guys got miserable faces, but
Yeah,
I guess
they're
you're
not
right.
that famous.
They're not
See,
as famous as these guys.
Knight, Popovich, 1-2. I mean, my God, could he be miserable? Saban? What are you kidding me? Oh my God.
Saban's commercials
they're hysterical.
they're great.
They really are. No fun.
Yeah.
No showers more than 5 minutes.
Yeah, they're great. It's the rules.
It's the rules.
It's the best.
Yeah, they and he's had a good sense of humor about it.
Yeah.
He has embraced the miserable
He has.
mantle.
Yeah, but those commercials are so good.
They are pretty good.
Check-ins at 9 o'clock. Whatever he says.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, a little late, but you're probably still finishing your lunch here. So enjoy the rest of your lunch with a little something we call the News at Noon. Ray Bob.
There's a whole lot going on in this world. It's time to catch up. Here's the News at Noon. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
All right, Ray, let's start with, let's start with Howie Roseman.
That's where we're going to start today. Howie Roseman making an appearance on the Rich Eisen Show. And we've graded before him attempting humor and whether or not it lands, whether or not you like it. He started his appearance with Rich Eisen with a joke, and I'm curious to see how you think it lands.
Jason Light, one of my close friends in the NFL, set him up with his wife.
Oh,
Set
wow.
him up with his wife. Yeah, you got to talk to him about that. You know,
Howie.
we were evaluating talent from the same talent pool like we do in the NFL. And
That's not bad. It's a little sexist, but it's not bad. Right? What do you think?
Yeah, not bad for Howie, because he's not the funniest guy. He doesn't really have a good
I got you.
good
But
timing.
yeah, Buccaneers general manager Jason Light was set up by Howie Roseman. He attempted to continue go on with that joke, but I tried to give you the best part of that joke because the rest of it just was poor.
Really?
Yeah.
I think Howie was in the club.
Back in the day when he was in Florida?
Yeah, he's in Gainesville. Got the co-eds all around him.
I think Howie's position
Would you like
has
to
got-
watch
yeah,
some film with me?
has made him cooler, I'm sure. Like, I'm sure that
You
Howie
don't think- You don't
Roseman,
think he was in Florida cool?
I don't know,
He was cool when he was a Gator?
like 25, 30 years ago. He's
No, you're not feeling it?
Well, I mean, look at just what he used to do, like the way he got into the NFL.
Can you come with me and over coffee and evaluate some quarterbacks?
Yeah, he was obsessed with the league and obsessed with getting into the league, and he would send letters every day to every team.
Yeah. And
But-
look what happened. You
He's
got a
going to the
wife for
Hall-
Jason Light?
He's going to the Hall of Fame, man.
Yeah. All right. Next.
All right, we'll move from football to basketball. Shams Charania making an appearance on the Pat McAfee show and said that he expects changes to the Celtics. I'll play the clip about what their offseason may look like, and then I got a question for you.
I can tell you, the rest of the league is bracing for some level of change to come to the Celtics from their roster this offseason. And, you know, sources have been telling me for weeks now that the Celtics will be exploring trade options in the offseason. This team, this iteration just is not going to be sustainable for this team. And no one around the organization, from players to staffers, would be surprised if there are changes coming to this roster. Because when you think about the new collective bargaining agreement, there's restrictions that come with trades. There's restrictions that come with freezing of draft picks. That's all stuff that they're dealing with right now. They have 5 players right now scheduled to make $28 million or more next season. That's a league record. So they would have a salary bill of $500 million. That would be league history amount.
Is this second apron that's going to cause this good for the NBA?
Is it good for the NBA in that the super teams have to be depleted?
That they have to break these teams up.
Yeah, I think it would be good for the NBA.
So,
because no question, it would be good for the NBA.
On its surface,
Outspend everybody and keep a winning team.
On its surface, yeah, the parity. I understand the parity argument of it, but if you have an owner that's willing to foot, close to $500 million to try and keep a super team together to win year in and year out.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's possible. New ownership comes in. They're not coming in to lose money.
No. And I understand from the financial aspect, they are probably they have to end up taking and making these moves.
Take the heat.
But you think of so many eras of the NBA prior to this that it was like we were trying to beat that team. That was the team. We don't necessarily get that storyline where if this second apron is just going to beat these teams financially instead of someone actually overcoming the team of that generation.
Yeah. How about Paul George and Maxey for Jaylen Brown?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sign me up.
Yeah, but see, we kind of had a similar discussion about Major League Baseball has always thrown around the idea of a salary cap. Never happens. But I don't mind the LA Dodgers going out and spending all that money because in baseball, even a team with a lot less of a payroll can beat you. In basketball, if you could just buy your way to a championship, it makes it very difficult. If you have, like he said, 5 guys are going to make over $28 million, it becomes very difficult for a basketball team that doesn't outspend you to win. You could buy yourself championships in the NBA. Not if you're the Sixers, unfortunately, what's what happened, but
Jaylen Brown would be the one getting traded.
Well, he makes the second most on that team. I think Tatum makes more.
Yeah, if you could trade Tatum or Jason Brown, you had to trade one of them. Jaylen Brown. Who are you trading?
Well,
and I love Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, Jaylen Brown was your Finals MVP last year.
Yeah, I love him. I love the way he plays.
But you're probably keeping Tatum.
You are.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah,
and then you got Peyton Pritchard coming in there, the T.J. McConnell of the Boston Celtics, who can shoot a jump shot.
Oh,
which was a
McConnell.
Great segue, was it not?
That was a fantastic segue.
Thank you, Ray.
T.J. McConnell was on your favorite podcast.
Yes.
It's no longer the old man to the 3, it's the young man to the 3. And he was asked the question, did the 76ers win a title if they keep that 2019 core intact? The year they lose to Kawhi with Jimmy Butler. Here is the question and your answer.
Do you think about that sometimes?
For sure. Obviously, hindsight's 2020. Me and you talk about that, but it's hard not to look at that group on paper and be like, if you keep that group together, at least a championship, maybe. Can't predict the future, but it didn't happen that way. And when I say that group, I'm not sure. I'm coming back. But that core starting group.
I think you're in that group. I mean, maybe I'm biased because we've been sitting together, but I'm I feel like having gone to a lot of those games, understood what that rotation looked like. There was a clear 7-man group that was responsible for the team being in that position, and you were 6 or 7.
Was he?
Yeah.
He was 6 or 7?
Yeah. I mean, that team, for as good as the starting 5 was shallow off the bench. Because that was the year everyone was talking about, well, if they had buyout success like the year before with Bellinelli and Ilyasova.
Yeah, he couldn't have been the first sub. Maybe 7. I don't know. I don't remember because I wasn't a big fan. And I'm like, how can you not be a big fan of T.J. McConnell? I go, because he's a white man and can't shoot. And it embarrasses me as a white man.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the minutes in the playoffs. I mean, he only averaged 8 minutes coming off the bench.
6 or 7.
Korkmaz was off the bench on that team.
Can we put a rest to the cliche? Hindsight is 2020. Can we bury that?
It makes a lot of sense.
That cliche. It's such a cliche. Let's take a break. 610-622-0975.
Philadelphia Union Soccer.
Plays it. One time.
Phillies game, there were some things that happened in that game. It involved Topper. Bill's going to rip him for his 6th inning. There's some consternation about letting Marshawn hit in the 9th. There's some discussion about the center fielder going to third base. It was funny. He jumps up like, yeah, you're going to do the 3 thing with the dugout. And all their heads are turned like, well, why do that?
Yeah, they looked at him like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah, and he was safe. And it tells you about baseball. When you don't make the right play, it doesn't matter how the result comes out.
And what was Kruk talking about? Oh, he's safe by a mile. No, he wasn't.
Wow,
that was close.
Yeah, it wasn't that close.
It was close enough that you don't take the chance.
Oh, well, you don't take the chance at all.
That's what I'm saying.
So, without saying, you don't go. There's no benefit to going to third base there.
That's what I'm saying. Like to say, oh, well, he's safe by a mile. No, you don't take that chance. That was too close for you to do that in that moment.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
It's a 2-score game.
An instinctive baseball player knows right away. There's no benefit for me going to third base here. I'm already in scoring position. If I make the third out at third base, I'm an idiot. Well, how do you not process that if you're Rojas? This is why when I look at players, I go, he doesn't think the game. Guys that don't think the game, it's the only thing you can do in baseball is think the game to maximize the strategy. That dude goes to third base. I'm going, what's the reason?
A little bit selfish.
So, selfish or just like playing with your hair on fire with no rhyme or reason.
Yeah, but Rob Thompson did say after the game he was going to talk to him about it.
Yeah.
But there's no, I mean, it's not like you could sit the guy down. Who are you putting in center in his place?
No, you can't sit the guy down. But Dusty Wathan probably had to say something to him there, right?
He was. He was talking to him.
And Rojas is like, huh? What? What do you mean? Well, I'm on third base.
We're having a debate up in the section of whether or not he actually knocked off his own helmet for the look of the running or it came off, because it looked like he knocked it off to me.
Right. Why is this guy bothering me? What is
For that exact reason, what I just said.
Yeah,
knocking off the helmet, popping up on what is a dumb baseball play and celebrating.
He doesn't give me the impression of a pro. You know, there's a way to act as a pro. He's like a guy who's just visiting. You know?
Well, he bothered you when he looked at his catch.
Oh, I mean, I'm never going to forgive him for that.
And now this stuff just adds on to it.
It is. It's brain dead. I hate brain dead players. There's a lot of these Sixers that came through, and like I would hear people go, "Oh, B-ball Paul." B-ball Paul is like a chicken with his head cut off. He has no idea where to go. And if you watch this series, although he's had some hustle moments, he's still the same player. He's a knucklehead.
Oh yeah, Paul Reed.
He gets 5 fouls last night. He takes 2 on intentional fouls, not thinking that, well, wait a minute, I can't take 2 because then I'll get 5. He took 2 on Robinson because Robinson can't shoot free throws.
But now this is going to get you angry about Johan. Outside of that base running error last night, and then obviously the 2 missed balls the other day in center field.
Yeah.
The dude's hitting 300.
I look at the long haul. I'm not like you. Yeah, I don't get a temporary fix.
But what I'm saying is,
you can smoke a joint and think the world's perfect.
When we look at this team,
I go deeper.
When you look at this team right now and the struggles that the lineup has had, I don't think that our attention should be at the 8 or 9 hole hitter Johan Rojas, who's hitting 300.
Well, when it's a subject, then we do.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is you dislike Rojas. Like,
yeah, I don't.
I say let's give Walker credit, and I get
professional
ripped.
player.
But we ripped the guy who's hitting 300.
You are such a cantankerous little.
You like how I turned that around?
You are.
You like what I did there,
You're
Reg?
such a passive aggressive little weasel.
You like what I did?
So incredible. I just gave him credit. No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you did. You said he'd be a fan favorite.
I gave the poor guy credit. The poor guy
The
credit.
poor guy. The poor guy. Yes,
the guy who was booed unmercifully last year, as he deserved to be.
You ought to write a book.
Wait. As he deserved to be.
Yes, he did. But what I was trying to acknowledge was that Taijuan Walker, any person, I don't care if you're making $20 million, I don't care if you're making $20, if you get booed the way he got booed, you think your career is over, you can't get into an inning last year without getting blown up, you were terrible, to be able to come back this year after you were left for dead. Nobody wanted you. Nobody wanted you on this team. Not even me. I'm not saying that I was wrong for criticizing him. He deserved to be. But for him to only get an opportunity as a starter because Ranger got hurt, and then to give you the starts that he's given you and be playing as hard as he is playing, I thought he deserved a little bit of credit. But I forgot we're only allowed to rip guys who are batting .305 like Johan Rojas.
So you turn this back to Johan
I'm outta
Rojas.
here.
I just, real quick, Jeff from Lansdale wanted to jump in on your praise, and Jeff just wanted to hear you praise him because Jeff showed up to work today and did his job and was curious if he could get you to praise him for that.
If Jeff was showing up to his job for a year straight and he was doing it terribly and everybody was booing him as he walked into the parking lot and everyone on his team had given up hope and every single person that was a customer was booing him.
Up to a break. Bill is working on his new book, The No Talent Downtrodden Players I Love by Bill Colarulo.
Weston Wilson.
Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Taijuan Walker. That's right, folks. He has entered the conversation. It's early May, and the guy's got a 2.54 ERA. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. And all truthfulness, Taijuan Walker had a solid start last night, allowing just 1 earned in 5 2/3 innings, lowering his ERA again to 2.54. For the Phillies, their problems last night were the defensive miscues in the 6th inning that led to Walker leaving the game because they could not help him out behind him, and also lack of timely hitting for the Phillies. They do end up winning 2 of 3 against the Nationals and now have to turn their attention to the Diamondbacks for a 3-game set this weekend. Jesus Luzardo taking the mound tonight against Merrill Kelly with first pitch at 6:45 down at Citizens Bank Park. We had a conversation with 2008 World Series champion Jason Worth earlier on in the show at noontime, and he talked about this Phillies team, his relationship with Bryce Harper, and of course his horse Flying Mohawk, who's competing in the Kentucky Derby this weekend. Today in Philadelphia, Eagles rookies meet with media as rookie minicamp is getting started for the Birds. And elsewhere, last night in the NBA, Tobias Harris and the Pistons lost 116-113 to the Knicks in Game 6, so Detroit's season's over. As for James Harden and the Clippers, they forced a Game 7 against the Nuggets. This update's brought to you by Discover. Discover wants everyone to feel special. That's why they double all the cash back you've earned on your credit card at the end of your first year with Cashback Matters. See terms at discover.com/credit card. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for truest championship coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
After 1 o'clock, you're listening to the Mike Missanelli Show on 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia. A Beasley Media Group station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. Okay, let's look back at last night's Phillies game as they lose to the Washington Nationals. It is funny, like, the reaction you get. Like, we got a columnist today saying, Phillies are done. Like, they just took 2 or 3 from Washington, right? Okay. You lose to Washington, you're going to lose the game to a stinky team in a series. You won the series, so you lose this game. A couple things happen in the game. You probably should have won it. You can't win every game. I don't think it's that detrimental to lose one game of a 3-game series, even though the Washington Nationals stink. But there were some situations last night where, Bill had a problem in the bottom of the 6th inning. Let's set it up here. 10 straight for TW. I'm talking about Bill's favorite pitcher, Taijuan Walker. 10 straight last night. But he gives up a double to lead off the 6th to C.J. Abrams. Wood hits a comebacker. 2 singles and Harper error. Now the Nats are up 3-1. Kirkgreen comes in with 1st and 3rd. Fake double steal. Bad throw in the center field by Mershon. It's 4-1. So in the bottom of the 6th inning, what happens, Bill, that had you a little peeved at the man we call Topper?
It wasn't even that I'm peeved. I'm just questioning it. So, because it doesn't go with what Topper has basically told us through his actions in the past. So it's the bottom of the 6th. It's a 4-2 game at this point. You got runners on the corners at 1st and 3rd with only 1 out. And Max Kepler comes up to the plate, but there's a left-handed reliever on the mound for the Nationals. Ferrer is on the mound for the Nationals. And you even heard John Kruk talking about it in McCarthy, that he has a tough delivery for left-handed hitters. Rob Thompson has shown us through his actions over the last couple of weeks that he doesn't trust Max Kepler against left-handed pitching. And Kepler's only hitting 182 against left-handers, and he only has 4 hits against left-handers. So in that position right there in a 4-2 game, runners on the corner, 1 out, with a lefty on the mound, why aren't you pinch hitting for Max Kepler? And if you're going to tell me it's because Max Kepler's been hot, I would agree with you if Rob Thompson doesn't sit him every single time there's a left-handed pitcher on the mound as their starting pitcher. So if you're going to trust him against left-handed pitching, let's trust him against left-handed pitching, but you got to give the guy opportunities. And if you're not going to, I don't think it's that moment that you say you're going to roll with him because it's a 4-2 game and you need to do something at that spot. And you're going to say it's because they don't trust Weston Wilson. Well, then that's on Dave Dombrowski because Weston Wilson is your right-handed bat in left field. Weston Wilson's supposed to be the platoon guy in left field. If Rob Thompson doesn't trust him, well, now that's on Dave Dombrowski. He didn't do a good enough job getting your right-handed bat.
It goes without saying that he didn't do a good enough job if he's got Weston Wilson there. But to the manager, if he's on the roster, the manager can choose to use him or not. He chose not because the better pedigree player is the left-handed hitter.
Who struck out.
Yeah, okay, but you got to make a decision in real time. You go, do I really, Kepler, Wilson, can I really justify hitting for Kepler with Weston Wilson? And in somewhere in his brain, he goes, no, I can't.
I wanted to look.
Right, let's compile a list of the players, the downtrodden that Bill likes.
Hold on, before you blame this on me liking Weston Wilson. This has nothing to do with Weston Wilson.
I want to go over all the players.
But what I'm saying is, this is my issues with Rob Thompson, and you think I hate on him. You are sending a message when you don't allow Kepler to hit left-handed pitching, but then you do it in a big moment like this. Why can't he be consistent here?
Because he's in that moment, his instincts say to trust the left-handed hitter, who's a better hitter than Weston Wilson,
who's hitting 182 against lefties.
Well, okay, but there's always a chance that he's going to snap out of it since they actually thought he could play every day against left-handed pitchers. He's giving him a chance. It was early in the game. He was giving him a chance. He's the better defender.
I don't like it.
It's a close game. Take him out of the game. You got Weston Wilson playing left field. But besides that, there's another subject here. Weston Wilson, Taijuan Walker, Caleb Martin. What other Sixer did you really like?
No, Caleb Martin was the guy.
Caleb Martin, yeah. But another Sixer. You love the mediocre. What Eagle do you like that's the mediocre? Seriously, you have compiled a list of the mediocre to like.
First of all, this whole Taijuan Walker thing, I don't like Taijuan Walker. I don't think he's a Cy Young winner. In the YouTube chat, they're calling him Cy Walker now. what I was saying is I just felt like he deserves some credit for how he came into this season with his mind right.
At $19 million, he deserves some credit.
Yeah, with his mind right.
You know that? Yeah, it's got $19 million.
Yeah, a lot of credit for, again, Jeff from Lansdale saying showing up doing a job.
Yeah, it's a shame he doesn't make $25 million. It really,
We'd
really feel sorry for him.
For someone who hates the Negadelphia, you breathe it every day.
Me?
Yes.
You're
breathing it every day.
I don't go overboard for mediocrity. You do. You are Mr. Mediocre.
Mr.
You
Mediocre.
are. You're like double M. Jesus. Taiwan Walker, Weston Wilson. The list goes on. Caleb Martin.
First of all, put some respect on his name. It's Dub Dub. All right? It's not Weston Wilson.
What is it with the downtrodden?
Edmundo Sosa.
Yeah, you love Sosa.
Who else is there? Who else do I like?
Cody Clemens.
No, I wasn't a huge Clemens guy.
Rojas, certainly.
No, Rojas bothered me last night. I just think that when we're looking at this team right now, Rojas is the least of the problem.
We'll get to that because we have to finish the exciting conclusion of last night's game. 610-632-0975. Still room for your call and your text. We'll get to the text board in a second. It's 610-632-0975.
We want to hear from you.
All right, just to close out your Phillies game. 7th inning. Phil's get a run back. Castellanos infield single. It's 4-2. Now we go to the 8th inning. First and second, Turner Harper. Casty grounds into a double play. Oof. That was a killer. And now we go to the 9th inning, where Johan Rojas racing around second base, getting to third base. Slides in. There's a challenge on the play. Clearly shows he was safe. But he pops up like he just did something wonderful, Bill. And you look at the dugout, and they're all turning going, what did he do there? What?
It's such an elementary play for baseball. Like, you don't even have to be a baseball guy to know. With 2 outs, you don't make the final out at third.
No. And there's no benefit to it.
In a 2-score game, too.
Yeah, 2-score game, there's no benefit of you being on third since you're already a fast runner and you're on second base. So, a bonehead play by him. And not that it mattered because the next hitter is Rafael Marchand, and you're looking for a 2-run homer to tie the game. Would you have pinch hit for Marchand with JT Realmuto in that spot, knowing that JT would only have to catch a couple of innings?
I still wouldn't have done it. And even though I've been critical of Rob Thompson in the past for not pinch hitting in moments like that when you're resting guys, I think when it's the catcher, it's a different thing. Like, you're not talking about Bryce Harper having to come in and maybe play first on a day off. You're talking about a catcher having to get behind the plate. I think when a catcher's told they're off that day, they're off that day. Because if they would have tied the game, and then even if it's only an inning or two behind the plate, I just think it's different when it's a catcher. I didn't have a problem with letting Marchand hit there.
How about Dub?
Did you?
How about Dub?
Yeah, but if Dub comes in, he's not getting on behind the plate after. If he hits a home run,
strap it on.
JT's got to go.
You're the ultimate utility man.
Now you're getting crazy.
Strap it on.
Now you're getting crazy. Strap what on? Yeah, he's not. He's not. I'm okay with letting Marchand go there.
All right. So what else was going on last night? I was watching the Knicks game. People were calling me Mikey Knicks. I don't get it. If you're not going to root for the Knicks against Boston, you are un-American.
Well,
really, you are
un-Philadelphia.
Un-American. This Knicks team is not a dislikable team.
Ray is. See, this is the jaded Sixers fan in Ray.
Uh-huh.
He does not want to see the Knicks make it to the finals, the conference finals, before the Sixers do in his lifetime. So he's rooting for the Celtics.
They're not going to get to the conference finals, Ray. They're not going to beat Boston.
No, but he's rooting for Boston.
But yeah, if they beat Boston, they would. So I would be rooting for that reality.
Yeah, but wouldn't you admire the underdog in this series?
No, I want the miserable people with me to be miserable.
So this is a hate New York thing? Or, like, how could you hate New York more than Boston?
How could I hate New York more than Boston?
New York doesn't win anything. Boston wins everything. They're the most smug, elitist fans going.
I'm used to them doing it, though. Like, I don't want to see them win. This is a progressive thing for me because it's going to be. It was the Pistons in round one. I needed them to go because I wanted Tobias gone because I didn't need Tobias beating the Knicks the year after he lost to the Knicks. The Knicks now get to round two and they don't go to conference championships. Like, they don't go to the conference finals. So I need the Celtics to knock them out. And then when the Celtics get to the conference finals, it'll be all Cleveland all the time for me. And then I'll see the Celtics out. This is just the progressive working of my brain of the teams I'm rooting against. It's not that I want any of them to really succeed in the ultimate goal. It's just I've seen the Celtics do it, so I want them to be heartbroken as they get closer and they can break it all up after this season. I don't want the Knicks to get to the conference finals because that's something they don't do, and I don't want them to find that joy, so I want them to go. And I didn't want Tobias Harris to play in the second round this year after he didn't play in the second round last year. It's just a progressive hate for me.
There's another progressive hate. The fact that these 3 guys are from Villanova.
No,
you're not revealing that.
No,
as a Temple man, Ray.
No, it doesn't do that for me. No, I'll be honest with
Ray.
No, last night I was celebrating in Xfinity Live as Jalen Brunson hit the 3. It has nothing to do with the Villanova thing.
Yeah, but only because your hatred for Tobias exceeded your hatred for the Villanova connection.
It has nothing to do with the Villanova portion of this. It
you
really
were
doesn't.
rooting against the Pistons just because of one guy?
Yes, 1,000%.
And Ray's not alone on that.
Do you have enough emotional energy towards Tobias Harris? Like, to me,
I was rooting for Detroit. I wanted to see Detroit win.
Tobias is a non-entity at this point for me.
Well, what about Cade Cunningham? You don't have respect for him that you wanted to see him win the series?
I got respect for him. Hey, man, you go out there and do your thing. You would not be the first star to see your team struggle with Tobias.
So Tobias, your hatred for Tobias clouds you from being able to root for the entire basketball team.
Yeah.
Ray, you may need to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
I definitely need to talk to somebody. Have you listened to me ever talk?
You need 1-800 therapy.
Well, he
100%.
said off the air about his hatred for Tobias that Tobias Harris ruined the career of the. Give me your exact words.
I said that Embiid had 6 years of his career saddled by Tobias Harris and 5 of them on a max contract.
So what I said though is Embiid maybe could have. I'm not. Let's not start the Embiid conversation.
Go ahead, say it.
Because I said
stand on
you're
it.
mad at Tobias for basically saddling Embiid and not allowing him to get out of the second round. But if Embiid was as big of a star as I think that he is, shouldn't he have been able to still get out of the second round with Tobias?
Yeah.
Should Cade Cunningham force the Game 7?
Cade Cunningham's a lot younger than what Embiid was during those 6 years.
Well, I'm just saying, you have to go do it. Yeah, there's been shortcomings for Embiid, but the fact that this roster had to be built for 5 years with that guy on a max contract makes me upset.
Very cantankerous today.
I
don't know what
well,
it is.
he started the day angry. He started the day
He was a little angry elf today, wasn't
he? He was, and then he cheered up a little bit.
Yeah. What was the anger for this morning?
Really isn't anger. You guys are just making points. Usually you guys don't really get under my skin the way you are today.
So we're getting under your skin today. That's where the anger is.
I know what's going on.
There it is. We're getting under the skin.
It's the sports talk.
I know what it is.
What is it?
I know what it is.
What is it, Bill?
Ray's a little preoccupied because he's told us before his landlord's selling the house and he's looking for housing.
He's looking for a place to live.
So I think he's taking that stress out on us.
It also could be the fact I have to run 10 miles on Sunday, and my entire weekend shot because of that.
Yeah, he's got the Broad Street run coming up. See, there's a lot of other things he's allowing to get in the way of the love that you have for Mike and I.
But much like Taiwan Walker, I showed up and did my job today. So I deserve
give you a lot of credit, Ray.
When I walk out
I give you a lot of credit. Fan favorite Ray Dunn.
Ray, what's the workout today? How much you run?
Oh, no, I am not using my legs until Sunday.
Oh, you're
at this
done
point.
till Sunday.
Oh, really? You're done?
Yep, I'm done.
What's the Saturday night meal? Lots of pasta?
Yeah, well, my Saturday night, we get into this if you want to. We don't really have to. My Saturday night got messed up.
Oh, we'll talk about it afterwards. But why wouldn't you just do a little warm up here, just to get the legs moving?
That's what this week's been. I've been out moving around, getting some stuff.
You're talking to a cross countryman.
You were talking to a what?
A cross countryman. Ray knows how to set up for a race.
What?
He ran cross country in high school.
I know he did. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Phillies fall in the series finale. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies lost 4-2 to the Nationals on Thursday night. Defensive miscues, lack of timely hitting sunk them in the game. The Nationals' Brad Lord limited the Phillies to 2 runs in 5+ innings, striking out 4. Taiwan Walker allowed just 1 earned 4 runs because of those defensive miscues in 5 2/3, lowering his ERA to 2.54 on the season. The Phillies now turn their attention to the Diamondbacks for a 3-game series this weekend. Jesus Luzardo takes them out tonight against Merrill Kelly with first pitch at 6:45 down at Citizens Bank Park. We had World Series champion from 2008, Jason Worth, talk about this Phillies team. Bryce Harper and his Horsefly Mohawk competing in the Kentucky Derby earlier on the show. You catch that conversation one more time at 97.5thefanatic.com. Also today in Philadelphia, the Eagles rookies will meet with the media as rookie minicamp is getting started. Elsewhere in sports, in the NBA last night, Tobias Harris, the Pistons lost 116-113 of the Knicks in Game 6 of that series. So Detroit's season's over. James Harden, the Clippers, saw their season extended at least another game. They forced a Game 7 against the Nuggets with the win last night. And it's come out that Spurs head coach Greg Popovich is moving to team president. He will no longer be the head coach of the San Antonio Spurs going forward. This update is brought to you by Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag. The Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag is the best deal in fast food for a lot of reasons, some of which include a JBC, 4-piece nugs, junior fries, and a small soft drink. For the best deal of all time, got to be Wendy's. U.S. price participation may vary. I'm Ray Dunn on your home for truest championship coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Vacation.
Talk about the Kentucky Derby for a second. We had Jason Worth on. He is part owner of a horse called Flying Mohawk. 30-1, his horse. Now, Dornock was a high odds horse, too, that wound up winning the Belmont Stakes. So, do you take a chance with this? Well, I usually box a trifecta, but I also box an exacta. So, I want to go over the field, Bill. A lot of people go by name. You know, the name sounds good.
Yeah, I mean, most people don't know these horses.
The number one post is a tough post in the Derby with a lot of horses running. Citizen Bull.
It's a good name.
You like it?
I like it.
20-1.
21. But yeah, the number one post, you're right, doesn't win often.
Neo Equos in the 2-hole.
Doesn't move me.
30-1. Final Gambit in the 3 spot.
Okay.
30-1. Write these down, Bill.
I got them in front of me.
Number 4. Oh, I like this horse a little bit. Oh, no, it's scratched. Rodriguez is scratched.
Did it? Rodriguez got scratched?
Rodriguez is scratched.
That was like a 12-1 favorite.
Yeah, it was 12-1. American Promise, Bill, in the 5-hole.
Okay.
You like the name?
It's a decent name.
All right. Admire Daytona, 30-1.
Okay.
No feel.
No feel.
7, Luxor Cafe at 15-1. Oh.
I don't get it.
Check it out.
The Luxor Cafe.
Luxor Cafe.
Is that a restaurant chain?
Luxor is a casino in Las Vegas, but Luxor is a Middle Eastern
I think we had
situation.
There used to be one in Cherry Hill. Now it's in Eddie V's, but I think it used to be called the Grand Lux or something. Anyway, here's your favorite coming up.
Journalism in the 8. Oh, perfect pole position for journalism. 3-1 favorite.
Did you hear what Jason Worth said when he joined us?
What'd he say?
The favorites don't usually win the Derby.
Yeah, that's why. What did you not understand?
You're boxing it.
Okay. Let's go to the number 9. I like this horse a lot. Burnham Square, 12-1, the 9-hole.
What do you like about that horse?
I just like it.
What do you like about it?
It's got a good gait.
Love it.
I look at the odds. That's how I like them. Grande, the 10th spot. Oh, scratched.
That means big, right?
Flying Mohawk.
I know.
Flying Mohawk. Here it is. The Worth horse in the 11th spot. 30-1. Followed by wait, you going to bet it?
I'm going to put money on Flying Mohawk. It's because you feel like you have some sort of connection to it because of Jason Worth. All these other horses, I have no idea. And that's a good name. Flying Mohawk's a good name for a horse.
It is a good name.
Who's the jockey on that? Do we know?
I don't have the jockey's name. I should have the jockey's name, but I got the wrong website up. Because I like the jockeys, too. I bet jockeys. Okay, we got East Avenue at 20-1.
It's a good name.
Any feel for that?
It's a good name.
And here's the karma. Here's my boxed exacta.
Oh, I got it.
The 13 horse is Publisher at 20-1. I'm boxing exacta that with journalism.
Got it.
How about
Missanelli
How about the
these
karma
bets.
on that one?
I like it.
Tistastic is the 14 horse, 20-1. Render Judgment, Bill. There you go.
Oh, it's like the legal side?
Render Judgment at 30-1.
Like we're going to render judgment on the Delco Deucer.
Coal Battle, which is that they're having upstate Pennsylvania, 30-1. Sandman. Oh, I like this horse too. 6-1 for Sandman. And they play Metallica when he comes out on the paddock.
That would be pretty badass.
Sovereignty, the 18 horse, 5-1. Sovereignty. Look out. Chunk of Gold, 19, 30-1. Owen Almighty,
say your prayers,
30-1. And here it is, that 21 horse, but way a bad post position for Baeza at 12-1. Baeza's got to come all the way across the track.
Now, did you hear what Jason Worth said? That if it's a rainy day, if it's a really muddy day,
yeah, they got a shot.
They got a shot for Flying Mohawk.
Yeah, because the faster horses will slow down.
Do we know what the weather's supposed to be?
Let me see. Lexington. Oh, hold on a second. Weather in Lexington.
What's the purse? What's the winning horse
a lot
owner get? I'm going to look that up too.
Couple mil.
So what's a bigger race, the Kentucky Derby or the Broad Street Run? Both are this weekend, Ray.
I'm going to go with the Derby on this one.
You having a lot of people come down while Mike's looking that up? A lot of people coming down the Broad Street?
No. I mentioned my friends I'm doing it, but I don't expect anyone to come down.
Jason Worth horse has a shot. Saturday in Lexington, 95% chance of rain.
That could be good for Flying Mohawk. And first place gets 3.1 mil.
You got to read that the racing form and get on those mutters.
Oh, Grande's
Father was a mutter.
By the way,
Father was a mutter.
Grande was scratched as well.
Grande was scratched?
Yeah, I'm looking at it now.
All right. Who's the jockey on journalism?
I don't know the list of jockeys.
Come on, man. Give me your list of jockeys. What's going on?
I'm looking them up. What's your favorite horse movie? Horse racing movie?
Seabiscuit.
Yeah, you like that movie?
Secretariat's pretty good.
Secretariat was a great movie, too. Wait, which is the one with Tobey Maguire?
Steve Seabiscuit.
Yeah, it's a great movie. And Diane Lane.
Where he was red.
Yeah, he was like a little
jockey. Red. He was too big.
Was Diane Lane in that, too?
Yes.
You're going to want to
Diane Lane was in Secretariat.
They're running together. I don't remember which one was which.
Yes, she was in Secretariat.
They were both good, though.
She was the widow who didn't want to sell Secretariat.
Yes. All right, I got the jockeys, too.
Okay.
Mike,
I got I think I have the jockey here of journalism, and I think this makes you all the way in. I'm actually concerned how much you might bet on this.
I know where you're going.
The jockey for journalism is an Italian man named Umberto Rispoli.
Oh, Umberto Rispoli.
He's
coming from Italy. Who's John Velasquez on? Because he's one of my favorite jockeys.
Yeah, we all have our favorite jockeys.
John Velasquez. Who's he on?
I don't think he's on.
632.
I don't think he's on a horse.
What?
Yeah.
How about Mike Smith? Is he on a horse?
I'm not seeing him.
Javier Castellano?
Yes, Owen Almighty.
Uh-oh. Look out for Javier.
That's right. Umberto Rispoli, though. That's a good name.
Umberto Rispoli. Let's see what.
You got to look at the trainers too, Mike.
Umberto Rispoli is an Italian horse racing jockey. He commenced his apprenticeship in 2005 and graduated to the senior ranks in 2010. He was a member of the Hong Kong Jockey Club until December 2019 when he moved his tack to Southern California.
There you go. If you had a horse, what would you name it?
Far with a horse.
What would you name your horse?
Far, you're blocking my road here.
What would you name your horse? Have any ideas?
Winner. Umberto Rispoli on journalism. This is the perfect storm for me. This is hard to believe. I'm going to make some money on the Derby.
If journalism wins, it's going to be hilarious. We'll know Mikey Miss is treating us to lunch on Monday. Wait, and Ray, we got to talk about your Broad Street Run. We got to hold you accountable here. What's the goal?
I want to break 130. I think that's the goal. I think I was 134 last year, if I remember correctly.
You think you can do it?
Yeah. I mean, I actually ran this year, so I would hope that I do it.
So now, no going out for you Saturday night? You're not drinking Saturday night?
Well, that's the problem. We're celebrating my roommate's birthday Saturday night.
So you're going to be hungover for the Broad Street
Well,
Run?
I'm going to try not to be. But me and just having a couple beers when we're celebrating my roommate's birthday feels like a little bit of a pipe dream.
Well, I guess the beers, that's good carbs, right?
Yeah, that's what everyone does before run, a couple of beers.
Supposed to carb up a little bit.
Yeah, so it'll be pasta and then a couple of beers, and then hopefully I'm home by 10:30 at the latest.
All right, Mike.
You know, I wonder,
over under. He breaks 130.
He under. I think he breaks.
He believes in you. You see that?
Yeah, I believe him.
I appreciate that.
I wonder if Burroughs Rispoli feeds the horse a little pasta in the same way Ray's loading up on pasta, like Friday night. Oh, I gave a little bit of the penne to the horse. No sauce, though.
Who do you think makes a better marinara, you or Umberto?
Umberto's too busy with the horses, man. He's not the dirty horse smelling hands in the meatballs. Come on.
Now I want to actually talking about Italian. You said you may be coming over to my neck of the woods tonight. I got to find out where you're going.
I don't know. I don't know where we're going.
You hate anything in Jersey. You shut down.
I don't like to go to the bridge unless I'm going to the shore. I don't go to the Jersey thing. 610-632-0975. Oh, the exciting play-by-play. Jalen Brunson of Villanova. Dagger three-pointer, which slayed the Detroit Pistons. The coming up after this.
Andrew Salciunas.
I'm not moving to the outfield.
.97.5 the Pat. You got a big afternoon show coming up. Thomas, we're just talking. Connor said that he thinks he can strike me out.
I think he could too.
Think he could?
Well, I think Connor was a pitcher in college, right? That was his position, I think.
What level?
Yes.
What level?
D3.
Yeah, he was a D3 pitcher. But I think he would strike you out.
He's not striking me out.
Didn't you and Salciunas have this conversation the other day too?
Yeah, we did. He said, I don't know if what Salciunas said. Salciunas would be the catcher. No, he's not striking me out.
Is this just one at bat?
Yeah.
I think he has the advantage in one at bat. I mean, the odds are against you.
Well, because I don't know his speed level.
Yeah, it's the first time you're going to see him.
His speed level is probably right in my wheelhouse at this stage because he hasn't pitched in a while. Probably throws 75.
Now, in your men's league that you play in, where are these guys topping out at? Pitchers?
70s.
And they're throwing a lot of junk, too? You get a lot of...
Not as much junk.
Yeah. Is it all underhand?
We could set this up. Like we talk about a lot of these things. Like you trying to hit.
We should.
100.
Yeah. You know what we should do? We should have like the Fanatic Olympics.
Yeah, listen.
Where like each show competes.
I may not
against
hit
each
a
other.
home run up him. I'll hit a line drive. But he's not striking me out.
Line drive right back at him.
I got a 2-strike approach. He'll never strike me out with a 2-strike approach.
Now what
I'll
if he
just foul balls off until I get a pitch in hand?
What if he comes in high and tight? You charging?
No.
Ooh.
No, that's just.
What if he gets you with a little knockdown fastball?
That doesn't faze me high and tight. It's like a pitcher trying to,
Things ever get heated in your men's league where people get angry about a pitcher hitting them?
No. They're all friends.
Everyone's all friendly.
Listen, the guy hit me in the ribs and broke 4 of my ribs. Nobody went out to challenge the guy.
It was a 50-mile curve, broke his ribs.
Oh, come on. All right, wait. I
bet you that guy who hit me probably throws harder than Connor.
Yeah, he throws some heat.
Yeah. Well, he broke 4 of my ribs. What do you think he hit me with?
Yeah, you're like Samuel L. Jackson from.
How many times I've been hit by a pitch in my life?
From The Glass
In my
Man.
life, how many times do you think I've been hit by a pitch?
Oh, probably hundreds.
Well, not hundreds, but I'll bet you close to 100.
You've been playing baseball for 50 years, 60 years.
Yeah.
Present day, in this moment, rank Salciunas, Connor, and Ricky in the order in which you'd least want to face them.
I don't know. Ricky hasn't thrown for a while. When you are a pitcher and you use your arm a lot, your arm atrophies. Your arm gets there's a lot of scar tissue that builds up in there. I don't know how loose he would be. So the kids probably are a little looser.
Mm-hmm.
Connor said he was having arm problems, so he. I don't know. I don't know how young are those guys. They're in their 30s.
Yeah,
they should be able to throw harder than Ricky.
They should be.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they.
Oh, Ricky would probably still get up there though.
I don't know about Ricky's flexibility as far as getting his arm back to the position.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know the last time he's thrown.
That's what the problem is with that.
So Ricky's the one you want to face the most.
No, I'd face those little punks first.
Okay, so Ricky's still fair.
Yeah.
Who would win?
I'd like the youngins. I like to go after them.
Who would win in an Oklahoma drill? Me or Mike?
I listen to him. Muscles up.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Me or Mike?
We should do Oklahomas.
No, we shouldn't do Oklahomas.
Yeah.
And then I'll play your sport, or we'll get on the ice.
You and Connor can.
You steroid infested meathead.
Then we'll get on the ice. What other sports could we play? Well, we got to do golf. We have to get out.
No, we're not doing anything. All right. Last night they played basketball. New York Knicks. What a setup. The game is tied, and the Knicks have a possession. And Jalen Brunson has the ball in his hand. Now, there's nobody on earth who doesn't think Jalen Brunson is going to control that possession. But I'm thinking, well, my man's going to try to take it to the basket and get fouled or do something. Well, here's what he does at the top. He does a little shake dribble, a little between the legs dribble. A Sword Thompson, who's a very good defender, by the way. Those Thompson kids can really play defense. In any event, he shakes him to the point where he almost breaks his ankles. And he like flies out of the frame. And Jalen goes, I might as well shoot it. So here's the play-by-play last night.
Brunson takes a peek at the clock. Thompson digging in defensively. 8 seconds. Brunson stops on a dime. Launches. Oh, yeah! Jalen Brunson buries it. Knicks lead by 3. The Brunson burner ignited.
No, I'm sitting there watching that guy. I can't believe he's going to shoot that 3 in this situation. Boom. The kid's a clutch player. I've been blown away by the development of this kid into a superstar player. I never saw it coming in a million years.
You weren't alone in that because he gets taken in late second round, right? Like people didn't look at him as a superstar.
It's freaking uncanny when you think about it. And I say the other day about Maxey, no 6'2" guard. You can't build around a 6'2" guard. Well, the Knicks have certainly built around this 6'2" guard. And he makes incredible shots off one foot, digging in, laying it up, but getting a guy off balance. And then the people go, well, he's a foul baiter. I hate him. Dude, this dude had 40 last night. 40.
Yeah, if you're Detroit in that situation, don't you kind of have to put the ball in somebody else's hands?
Well, so you want to blitz him?
Do something,
Blitz
man.
him with defense and make him give it up?
Make him give it up.
Yeah, you're probably right, because who else is going to make a shot on that team?
Look, it's basically what the Knicks did to Cunningham. They made him give it up.
You're right. But he, the flip side is that defender really got in his shorts. Instead of going, all right, we can trust him up top here. Maybe we'll cover all the flanks. We got to make sure Karl Anthony Towns is covered. But who else is on a team who's going to make a shot? There's two guys with the Knicks who make a shot. That's the one guy who can make a shot, and they let him shoot it.
Yeah, and I think they thought, like you thought, that he was going to drive the basket, and then he pulls back, breaks the guy's ankles, and drains it. Yeah, he's a good player, man.
And then he goes to the crowd.
With a kiss, right? The three kiss. The Brunson burner!
Oh, I would love to taunt the opposing crowd by making something like that.
Yeah, it would be nice.
See you. Bye-bye. Good night.
I wish I was good enough.
Go home. I think Josh Hart was there yelling, go home.
You think Ray's going to be taunting people at the Broad Street run on Sunday as he's running by him?
Ray, do you talk to people that you're running with side by side?
I don't run with people.
You don't run with people?
Mm-mm.
What do you mean? It's impossible not to run with people. You
As
got your own little lane?
No, as in, like, I thought you meant like I was running with someone that I would talk to. No, I'm not talking to strangers, for sure. No.
Oh, you're not talking to strangers?
No, I'll say, like, people that I see, like, if they talk to me from, like, the crowd, but I'm not talking to other runners. No.
But let me ask you a question. Does talking mess up your breathing?
It's not so much the breathing. It's I don't want to sync up pace with someone because I'm not good at pacing. And to sync up pacing with them, I'm going to end up trying to match something that I shouldn't
Well,
do.
how do you pace?
I don't.
What do you do?
I'm not good at pacing. I've never been good at pacing.
You just run?
Yeah.
And you run and you respond, your body responds somehow?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, this is the long-standing thing. Even when I was a runner, I was terrible at pacing. I never got good at it. I never was interested enough in getting good at it to get good at it.
Were you all-league cross-country?
No. I was on a team that sent, like, 3 guys D1, 2 guys D2. Yeah, no, we were the first state
those spring
qualifying.
Fords, those country schools out there, Bill? They got the cross-country.
We don't, which is we were the first ever state qualifying team from our high school, and we're still the only ones.
How'd that happen? Well, a bunch of kids that grew up when they were 3 years old running around in neighborhoods?
A bunch of guys that wish they were playing other sports that ended up being really fast.
You just reminded me, talking about, like, high schools and stuff. I was looking at something this morning, bringing this back to the NFL draft. Sorry, I know we're talking Broad Street Run, but talking about high school.
Is this one of your transitions?
Well, no, you just reminded me because I wanted to ask you this. I have a list in front of me of the top states for players who were drafted into the NFL, like where they played their high school ball. So if you had to guess, which state produced the most players that got drafted in the NFL draft?
Florida.
Close. Florida was second with 26 drafted players. There was a state that had 37 players drafted this year. Florida was second. It's a good guess. Ray, you got to guess who was number 1?
Michigan.
Incorrect. Michigan had 9.
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania's not even in the top, like, 7.
Well, it's got to be California, right?
California.
Texas.
Texas. So here's the list. Texas had 37. Florida had 26. Georgia, 22. California, 16. Louisiana with 10. Virginia with 10. Alabama with 9. And then Michigan and South Carolina with 9. Pennsylvania, I thought we would have a better representation than we did. But Texas.
Yeah, Texas. It figures.
That's a high school football.
Yeah, hotbed of high school football, Texas. Florida, Texas, Cali.
So Spring Ford is the Texas of the cross-country sport.
The 2018 class.
When Ray was there. 2018
I know
class.
they're going to.
No longer.
I know a couple of them are going to be running it. And we had the Strava app. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but it's like the running app where you can put down your times, all that stuff. And I see what they're running still, and it really does bother me.
Your classmates?
They're smoking you?
Oh, yeah.
Are they in the Broad Street Run?
I'm sure they're going to do. I saw them last year at it. I have not hit them up
really?
yet.
You haven't corresponded with them at all?
No, I'm not. I told some of the people I hang out with in the city that I'm doing it. Mm-hmm. Other than that, like, my parents came the last 2 years. They're going to get my sister's stuff at college. They're not coming down there. It's at this point, I just want to run it. It's a nice show every year that, like, I can still do this if I want to do it.
Uh-huh.
Problem is wanting to do it. Like,
so what does your school specialize in? Football? Is there a football school? Baseball school?
We were solid in football.
You send any big-time athletes to college, big-time colleges?
I mean, Lucy Olson just got drafted to WNBA. She was my high school.
Oh, Lucy Olson, the player who played for Villanova?
Yeah, that went to Iowa.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, I would say...
Was she in your class?
No, she was my brother's class. She was 3 years younger than me. So,
How about that, Lucy Olson?
She dropped 40 on Temple when I was calling the game, and it was one of those, like,
Wow.
You're great. I appreciate you. Come on. Don't do this to my team.
You were able to get a post-game interview since she was in high school?
I'm not going to bother. Temple radio. What am I going to... Hey, this is so great. 40 points for Lucy Olson. Let's talk to her.
Now, has Lucy Olson ever had her name on the marquee at the Collegeville Bakery?
Oh, yeah. 100%. Please. 100%. They love her there.
Bill, what else you got for the rest of the show? We're coming down the home stretch. Tell everybody what the afternoon show is. It's got a packed house.
It does have a packed house.
Amy Fagul in.
Connor, Amy, Ricky, Silvana. They do have a packed house.
Ricky on remote today.
Ricky's on remote today.
Because of the Phillies.
We didn't talk about, and I'm going to bring it up now. We got only a couple minutes left. We didn't talk about this homewrecker lawsuit that was filed against receiver Steve Smith.
Yeah.
You remember that whole thing?
Yeah, that state has that homewrecker law.
Yeah, so those who remember, former wide receiver Steve Smith, not the one that played for the Eagles and the Giants, the one that played for the Panthers and the Ravens, he had an affair with a guy's wife. Yeah. The guy broadcast it all over social media, and now that same husband is suing Steve Smith.
And you hate this because you think that husband's weak.
Oh, I think the husband's terrible. Like, your wife cheats on you.
Get your money, man.
The wife cheats on you.
See, Bill's a macho man.
Then you broadcast it all over the internet, and now you're suing the guy for money, saying, and the homewrecker law basically says that because he interfered with the love in your marriage, that you're entitled to damages against the third party, not your wife, against the third party.
Would you have tried to beat Steve Smith's ass if it was you?
No. I don't fault.
Would you have sued him?
I would not fault Steve Smith. This is on your wife. This isn't on Steve Smith.
Why are you isn't everything between the two of you already?
What are you talking about?
Like now you're going to go after her for your money in the divorce. Might as well go get his money.
Yeah, I'm just saying I don't think you try to make a financial gain off this. I don't think you sue Steve Smith because your wife was unfaithful to you.
Pain and suffering, man. There's a price tag attached to that.
That's right.
Get that money.
Attaboy, Ray.
I think it's weak.
Pain and suffering.
I think it's weak.
I think it's the best thing you could possibly do. Think about all the people that were cheated on that never got financial compensation from that.
Well, there's only, I think, 6 states that have it.
But you're in one of them. You're in luck.
But you got to...
Congrats.
You have to prove... This is the hard part, though. You got to prove that you had a really good marriage before. So to show that Steve Smith wrecked your marriage, you got to prove you had a good marriage before.
Well, you can prove that.
Can you?
Yeah, sure you can.
Who has a good marriage whose spouse is cheating on you with...
Well, it was Steve Smith.
Oh, what are you saying? That makes it okay?
Well, I'm saying that it might have been. It's not
an athlete who lured her.
Yeah.
Yeah, he pro athlete who ran lines.
She ran to Steve Smith. Whoa.
I think you're letting
Steve Smith.
I think you're letting the woman off the hook here, man.
They'll chauvinistically approaching this.
No, this isn't chauvinistic at all. I think if it's so, what if it's a man and what if it's a famous actress? Yeah. Should the man be allowed to do it?
We got to get out of here, Bill.
It's both ways.
But, thanks for bringing that up. Thanks everybody for listening. Have an ultra great weekend, and we'll be back at it talking to you on Monday on the Mike Missanelli Show. Take care, everybody.